from Osceola County Stadium in Kissimmee, Florida. It is spring training baseball on Root Sports, the first of 10 telecasts involving the Houston Astros in Florida. And on a beautiful afternoon, it's probably 80 degrees, plenty of sun. We welcome you to Florida. Bill Brown, Julia Morales, Jeff Blum, Alan Ashby joins us next week. What a great time for baseball. And you've been here a few days before the rest of us talking with these guys.
Nothing's changed, right?
What's the mood in the clubhouse, as they always ask?
Yeah, you know, they're excited every time they show up for spring training. Everybody's ready to get back to the game that they love, but a little bit different this year. So many guys coming back from the team that had so much fun on that playoff run last year. They're excited about the core group of guys that are still here. Of course, some competition that will be played out throughout spring training, but they're excited about that as well. They know the expectations are very high. They know nothing is given in this game, so it doesn't matter what they did last year. They're going to have to start all over, but I think they're really excited for the challenge here in 2016.
Jeff Blum, as a player, what's the mindset if you're 20 years old and starting your first ever spring training in a big league camp, or if you're 37 years old, Wandy Rodriguez pitching today?
Well, it's a little bit different. When you're a young kid and you're getting your first, second, third camps, you're pretty excited about it. You look forward to showing up. You come in shape. You're doing everything right. That middle part of your career, if you're lucky enough to stick around for that long, you just kind of go through the motions and get ready for that season. But a guy like Wandy Rodriguez is interesting to me because he wants to get back in on the action, comes back to Houston. They're a competitive ball club. Maybe some of that youth invigorates him a little bit, but it's good exposure for him if he doesn't make that team.
Well, the game is about to start. We hope you'll stay tuned throughout the afternoon for this game between the Houston Astros and the St. Louis Cardinals. It's coming your way next. You know, when people come to Central Florida, all kinds of attractions, and of course the baseball has been a very good attraction down through the years. This is the 32nd year at Osceola County Stadium and the final year for the Astros to play in this ballpark. They have a brand new park which they will share with the Washington Nationals, and that is under construction at West Palm Beach. So for the Cardinals, they come up from Jupiter, Florida, their base, and they will only be about 15 miles away from the Astros' new complex next year. They share that facility with the Miami Marlins, so those four teams will be playing probably a lot with each other.
And I think that's a good thing. I think they're taking that note that Arizona has done out there out west, where they put a bunch of teams in a close proximity. It makes it that much better for fans to be able to see four teams within a half an hour of each other. That's fantastic. They can come down, plan one trip a week long. You get to see four different teams playing. It's always good to see more baseball as often as you can.
Well, you just arrived last night, and we mentioned Julia has been here. She's done a series of interviews with Astros players, so she probably has a better feel for what's going on in camp, frankly, than either one of us. But we have a month ahead now to learn more about the 2016 Astros. And going back to a year ago, who could have foreseen what happened? We had no inkling, right, that club would be that good.
Absolutely no idea. I know a lot of people knew that the Astros farm system and what they've done through the draft has been number one. A ton of prospects down there, but last year they put it all together. Well, I know for me, seeing Carlos Correa kind of was a catalyst on that ball club, filling that middle part of the order with some big hits, doing some great things on defense. But these guys are young. They have a strong core that's going to be here for a good 3 or 4 more years at least. So these are the beginnings of some good times to be a Houston Astro.
Carlos Correa takes the field at shortstop. The Astros had their opening game yesterday on the road against the Philadelphia Phillies. He did not see action in that one. Neither did Jose Altuve, his double play mate, who's also in the lineup. At second base, they're joined on the infield by Luis Valbuena. And Tyler White's at first base today. It's Roberto Pena catching Wandy Rodriguez with Preston Tucker, Andrew Applin, and Jake Marisnick in the outfield. And during the course of these next 30 games or so, you're going to see a lot of different players, including some of the exciting young talent in the Astros organization. Here's Wandy Rodriguez, and he, at age 37 now, comes back to the organization after being 6-4 with the Texas Rangers.
Good to see Wandy back in that Houston Astros uniform. Had some good years when I played here with him. He was always one of those guys when I started at third base and Wandy was up there. He was one of those pitchers that I knew I had to be on my toes. He's got a good fastball. He's able to get in on guys, kind of sneaky fast around that low 90 range, but it was that breaking ball that he could flip in there at any time, could get the strikeout and the ground ball when he needed it.
Here's the lineup he'll be facing today. The Cardinals, like the Astros, won their opening game. They go with Tommy Pham, the DH, leading it off. It's Stephen Piscotty in right field, Randall Grichuk in center field. Brandon Moss is the cleanup man and first baseman. At third base, batting fifth, it's Jacob Wilson. He's followed by second baseman Colton Wong, left fielder Anthony Garcia, catcher Eric Fryer, shortstop Greg Garcia, and the starting pitcher is yet a third Garcia for the Cardinals. Jaime Garcia will be their left-handed starter. We take a look at Jose Altuve looking in from second base, getting set for his first activity. And the Astros and Redbirds are ready to get it going. This year in interleague play, the Astros will be playing the teams in the National League Central. This was the best team in the National League Central last year. St. Louis leading Major League Baseball in wins with 100. Tommy Pham takes the first pitch, and there's strike one. Gary Cederstrom is the home plate umpire, and he rings it up for Wandy. Wandy not on the 40-man roster, so it's an opportunity for him in game number 2 to get a leg up and make a bid to be on this opening day club. And it goes to a 2-ball, 1-strike count. We'll see so many pitchers, Jeff, in the next few weeks, and we've seen a lot of Wandy down through the years. So as you indicated, I think the Astros pretty much know what he can do. It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity here, which he's getting today, to solidify that thinking that he can pitch at top form this year.
And the Astros need that. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Wandy has a shot to make that rotation or if he opts for the opportunity to go to AAA and just be a part of the organization in case an injury comes up. We saw several of them last year with that rotation, using some guys. There's a guy on the left, Brad Peacock, who had that injury, trying to make a bid to make it back into that rotation too. But you got to have those arms in the minor leagues to be able to fill holes when necessary.
There's a pop-up over toward the stands. We see a lot of red in the stands. Cardinal fans making the trip from Jupiter. And that keeps the count at 3-2. And Wandy has shown throughout his career pretty good command. And you probably can get inside his head a little bit and think, no way am I going to have a leadoff walk in this game, right?
Yeah, don't want to start off that way.
And the foul ball comes back. Pham was with the Cardinals briefly last year and also had a cup of coffee with them the year before. He had 153 at-bats last year, hitting .268 with 5 homers, 18 runs batted in. And there, Wandy comes back and gets a strikeout upstairs.
It's that sneaky fastball that we talked about. Good job of elevating. You wonder if Brent Strom has gotten in the head of Wandy Rodriguez, explaining to him that there are some areas to exploit at that upper part of the zone.
Well, that's what Stromy has done so well, as you have detailed down through the last couple of years with the Astros pitchers. Stephen Piscotty now is an important part of the Redbirds' plans for this year. Fouling that one for strike one. Piscotty got in some activity last year. He's 25 years old. He was a supplemental pick after the first round in 2012 and wound up with a .305 batting average 233 at-bats, including 7 homers, 39 runs batted in for the Redbirds. And we're seeing some faces that are not familiar to Astros fans, since the Astros, of course, have moved to the American League, but a lot of newcomers. This Cardinal roster in the process of something of a turnover right now, working in the younger players.
That, and you've got an early road trip in this spring training season, so you're going to see a lot of these young kids taking up for some of the older guys in camp who are going to stay back. It's got to be a tough decision for AJ with all the youngsters he has on his roster.
That's in the air, foul. What a gorgeous day. There's a nice breeze through the stands here. George Springer right there. He had a nice game yesterday at Clearwater against the Phillies with a pair of doubles. The Astros won that game 3-2, and Doug Fister was the starter and winning pitcher in his Astros debut. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Fister looked all right.
Well, we may be able to visit with him later on today. We'll be having some interviews during the game. We'll be talking with AJ on the headset in the next inning. That heads for left field. And that loops in for a hit. Preston Tucker coming over to pick it up. And there's a 1-out single for Stephen Piscotty.
Osceola is a funky place to play the outfield in. The wind seems like it's always blowing from left field to right field. It's a good pitch by Wandy trying to get in and jam Piscotty a little bit. But I think the wind just knocked it down before Tucker could get underneath it.
Yeah, that's probably not your favorite place to play the outfield in a spring training ballpark, right?
Yeah, spring training. Yeah, I've got a good Ryan Klesko story out in left field when we have a chance, but in spring training. But yeah, outfield and spring training, these aren't standard conditions.
Bad throw to first. Tyler White gets it on to second, and safe is the call. Altuve got the baseball, tried to put the tag on, but Piscotty was ruled safe at second base.
That's tough with the second baseman coming across the baseline to cover right there. Wandy has the good left-handed move to hold base runners on. Just didn't give White the perfect throw to catch and throw. You can see White had to go to his left to make that grab and then throw across the baseline. Watch where this throw goes.
And that pitch in the dirt to Randal Grichuk. Well, the Cardinals have had a lot of success. They've been to the playoffs the last 5 years. It's a different look, though, to the NL Central, with the Chicago Cubs rating the #1 choice in their division by a lot of the preseason picks.
Pretty easy to do with all the talent they've got on their ball club.
Pittsburgh Pirates were another strong club the last few years, of course, in the NL Central, and they could be good again in 2016. Wandy gets a swing and a miss from Grichuk. 2 balls and a strike. Cardinals, of course, have had a couple of big losses, if you will. Jason Hayward has moved on to the Cubs. And John Lackey also making that transition from St. Louis to Chicago. So with that kind of shift, there may be a balance of power change based in part by those 2 players moving from one club to another.
Speaking of shifts, you already see the Astros moving far over to that left-hand side against Grichuk.
Well, that's a good point. If you're going to do it during the regular season, why not start now, right?
Just do it now. Set the tone early.
Because you as an infielder would want to be placed in those positions now to get ready for that.
And you've got to see those angles as an infielder. I know that you play there normally, and you've done it all last year if you're a Houston Astro on this infield, but you've got to see it play out.
Pena with a throw to second base on the strikeout. 2 outs. Piscotty going back in. Pena has a very good reputation defensively as a catcher. Brandon Moss is the first baseman today. Has a lot of experience with different major league clubs, and he's in the mix competing with lefty hitting Matt Adams to get a lot of time at first base for the Cardinals. Moss also has played the outfield in the big leagues. That's strike 1 for Wandy. Wandy was a consistent factor in the Astros rotation, as you know. spending 7 seasons with Houston. Breaking ball is foul back. No balls and 2 strikes. He was a 14-game winner in 2009. Followed that up with 11 wins in 2010, 11 more in 2011. And then the Astros dealt him to Pittsburgh in the midst of the 2012 season. You know, you mentioned, Blummer, earlier on the Open that the Astros used some 13 starting pitchers last year. That is a big part of what any organization does over the winter. Try to create depth to provide for that opportunity should they be tested in that fashion again this year.
Now, that's one of those things you can never really count on. You can't go into a big league season as an organization and say, I've got 5 starters. They're going to go 35 starts apiece. We're going to finish the season with them and go into the postseason. That rarely happens. So if you can pick up a guy like Wandy, who's got that big league experience, been around a while, native of Houston. Not native, but I mean, he's played there often enough.
He knows the territory. Strikeout number 3 of the inning for Wandy Rodriguez. And there's no score. And a stolen base. Now the Astros come up with this starting lineup against the veteran lefty Jaime Garcia. Jose Altuve will lead it off and play second base. The DH Marwin Gonzalez bats second today. In the number 3 spot is shortstop Carlos Correa, the Rookie of the Year in the American League. The cleanup man is third baseman Luis Valbuena, with Tyler White at first base, Preston Tucker in left field, Jake Marisnick in right, Roberto Pena the catcher, Andrew Applin in center field. Look at the Cardinals now with Anthony Garcia, Randall Grichuk, and Stephen Piscotty in the outfield. Jacob Wilson, Greg Garcia, Colton Wong, Brandon Moss, Eric Fryer, and Jaime Garcia in the infield group. And Jaime Garcia, we're seeing a left-hander with good control, gets his share of ground balls, Blummer, and has an excellent changeup.
Yeah, that changeup is the money pitch for him. Does a good job of setting it up, painting that fastball both inside and outside, but that changeup is definitely the go-to. Steady part of that rotation. It's going to be interesting to see how things shake out with the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, not too many offseason moves. Mike Leake moving into that rotation, but not that big splash. And you talked about it earlier, how young they are with this turnover they have happening, but they always seem to find a way to win.
They've just had a tremendous organization, as everybody knows, down through the years. The Astros and Cardinals go way, way back to the point that the Astros, before they were Colt 45s, and the Astros had that tradition of being part of the Cardinals farm system. When Branch Rickey was developing that widespread farm system, the Houston Buffs were a part of his farm system empire. Another outstanding year last year for Jose Altuve, a .313 batting average. That was third best in the American League. And he looks at strike 1.
Wait, what? He took a pitch?
He took a pitch.
I thought he'd be firing right out of the chute.
.313 after a .341 batting title in 2014 for Altuve. 200 hits again last year to lead the American League. Just another sensational season, and against lefties he hit .372 to lead the American League.
Looking for that bounce back season with the batting average.
He added power last year, but which would you rather have? Because last year he hit 15 homers. compared to a previous high of 7 in a major league season. He drove in 66, which was his major league high. Which would you rather have if you had to swing one way or the other from Altuve?
I want the one where it gets him into the playoffs again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just interesting to see these guys. That was one of the funny conversations in talking with Tony Gwynn when he was around when I was with San Diego, is him and Fred McGriff always had a little bit of a rift between them. Talking about, Fred hitting all the home runs. And Tony Gwynn, I think, said, hey, I can go out there and hit 40 home runs. Anybody can do that. You try hitting 350 every year.
Not too many can do that, but Jeff Bagwell with that MVP season was one guy who could hit for a very high batting average. He was working with the first baseman in camp before the game today. Jeff here for a few days.
Which is great to see. I can't wait to get down there and have a conversation with him.
Well, it's always a good thing when he's around the Astros and dispensing some of that knowledge from his terrific Hall of Fame to-be playing career. There's ball one. Marwin Gonzalez, the switch hitter, batting and DHing today, and hopefully Baggy will make it into the Hall of Fame next year. He was 15 votes short this last time around.
Which is a crime in itself. I completely agree with you that he belongs in.
It's just hard to figure sometimes why the voting goes the way it does. 2 balls, no strikes. But certainly recognized as the icon he is, he gets plenty of credibility whenever he speaks to an Astros player.
Oh, no doubt. No, he was one of those guys. I got traded over after 3 years in Montreal, and he's one of the. I was lucky enough. I don't know how it worked out, but my locker was 2 lockers away from him. It was Biggio, Bagwell, Osmus, and then myself. And you talk about it was almost like fantasy camp for me at the time. I just sat there and listened to what these guys talked about and how they prepared. But the reputation, he lived up to everything that I thought Jeff Bagwell was, and then some.
Marwin fouls it. It brings up a point, because as a rival player, you probably had a certain image. You had heard certain things about Jeff, but nothing like what you find out being the guy's teammate. In those 2 instances, were they one and the same? You got what you thought you would get when you became his teammate? Yeah, you definitely got what you thought it would be, because playing against him, he was the ultimate competitor, never took a break. His reputation was being a great base runner, and he was. But once you got in there and actually got to see the person himself on a daily basis, that's where you really became to appreciate what he brought to the ballpark every day. Well hit by Marwin Gonzalez, who makes it 1-0 Astros. Well, Marwin, who wants to hit a home run this season with men on base, had some solo shots last year, gets one here to make it 1-0. That was one of the more interesting statistics, is Marwin hitting all those solo home runs, but right here gets himself fastball down, tails right back over the middle of the plate, and all you got to do is drop the head on it. Nice load on that leg kick, hands back, and then unload. Beautiful. It's a little early to be in mid-season form. Yeah, that's what the Astros do, isn't it? Drop bombs. Yeah, they were second in the American League, as you know, to Toronto in hitting homers last year. Ball one to Carlos Correa. Marwin has hit 24 major league homers, 24 solo homers. Not that he's been reminded of that at all. So selfish. But it's nice to get the 1-0 lead. And for Correa, of course, as you know, 22 homers, 68 runs batted in, a .279 batting average. Rookie of the year. And now what can he do to top that? Well, for one thing, he could be in the big leagues all season. He didn't join the big league club until June 8th last year. Now Correa works the count to 3 balls, no strikes. And that's in 99 games with that production last year. No, truly a phenomenal talent. This will be an interesting year, that sophomore year in the big leagues, after such high accolades, living up to them, getting that Rookie of the Year. How do these guys handle that at such a young age? And that's where a lot of the coaching comes in. I think it's their job, and some of those guys in that clubhouse, to keep him working hard, but that's AJ's job, to keep this kid from getting complacent and expecting to be that good every year. Now, visit to the mound by the catchers. Jaime Garcia walks Correa. So Eric Fryer, doing the catching, comes out to talk it over with his veteran lefty. Correa, 21 years old, and one thing is a given for AJ Hinch: Correa batting third in 2016. Thank goodness.
Makes his job easy, makes our job even easier. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Luis Valbuena settles in now. Luis is 30 years old. He's coming off his best home run year. 25 bombs for the Astros last year. Another in the playoffs. And maybe another here as he hits it high to right field. And no doubter. 2-run shot. Valbuena hits it out. And it's 3-0 Houston. Well, this Houston attack that ripped away last year in the home run department is at it early in spring training.
It's a good sign early on. These guys, we talk about timing. Marwin Gonzalez and Luis Valbuena right now locked in early.
Last year, the Astros belted 230 home runs. And now Tyler White. The first base battle will be one of the big stories for the Astros here in spring 2016. John Singleton comes in with a leg up. There's a strike on White, but White is closing quickly in that contest involving several others. Matt Duffy, certainly one of those. AJ Reed, yeah. So it'll be intriguing not only to see who wins the spot, but also to look at the depth in the organization at that position.
I'm actually kind of curious to see the response of John Singleton. This is his second year in a row going into the season where the opportunity has been there for him to take that first base job, even more so now with Chris Carter out of the picture. But this is his chance to really solidify that job at first base. How is he going to react? Is he going to take it and run with it?
Tyler White had a stellar year last year, advancing to AAA after starting the season at AA, and then went to the Dominican Winter League and lit it up to the MVP proportions with a high on-base plus slugging, OPS as we call it, throughout his career in the minor leagues. So at age 26, he's close. He's close to being a big leaguer, if not about to be one this year. He was a 33rd round draft choice in 2013, went to Western Carolina University. Last year he was an all-star at Corpus, hitting .284 there. Then moving up to Fresno, he hit .362. Ground ball to the shortstop. Greg Garcia takes it over to first. 2 outs.
Yeah, I'd say for White at 26 years old, the time is now for him. Big bomb by Luis Valbuena. And so often, as an Astros fan, you look at the power numbers and how guys drive the ball out of the ballpark. Valbuena had a great year. The average wasn't where he wanted it to be, but think about what he did defensively. For me, that's where he was a real standout for the Astros, playing behind that pitching staff, getting them some big outs when they needed it.
And that's an important position for pitchers like Dallas Keuchel, who get a lot of ground balls to third base. Ball 1 to Preston Tucker. Preston hit 13 homers for Houston in 300 at-bats in his rookie season after a .295 season at Fresno. Native of Tampa, Florida, and the University of Florida. And he had a couple of pinch hit homers along the way. And right now the outfield is set. It's established, of course. But then Jake Marisnick is a defensive whiz, and he figures to be one of the extra outfielders. And Preston Tucker certainly doing everything he can to be another one of those, in addition to trying to play some first base this year.
Yeah, I think having that left-handed bat on the bench with some thump behind it, always being that threat, that's always a key asset for most managers in the big leagues, is to have that left-handed hitter who can come in late on games, maybe break a closer's ego with that big home run to tie things up, if not win it. And he's done that. He did that last year a couple times.
Sure did. Carlos Gomez is set in center field. George Springer in right. Former Cardinal Colby Rasmussen left for the Astros in 2016. And that's a difficult trio to crack. Essentially 3 center fielders playing the 3 different outfield positions. Line and caught by the second baseman Wong for out number 3. Marwin Gonzalez makes it 1-0 with his first bomb of the spring. And then 2 batters later, Luis Valbuena goes out to right field. 3-0 Houston after 1. Astros after one, and AJ Hinch is kind enough to join us on headset from just outside the Astros dugout. And what a terrific year for you, second-in manager of the year balloting in the American League, and certainly deserving of winning it all there. But just the way the team came together. So now this spring, now you were learning so many people's names as you joined the organization a year ago. How different is it for you?
Well, it's nice to not have to be so new. We've got a similar coaching staff, maybe one addition with Alonzo Powell, but a lot of continuity. A lot of the same players. We've got a few prospects that are their first time in camp, but I think 2015 ranks is one of the best seasons in a lot of our careers, but we left plenty of room to get better, and that's the message I'm reminding our players, that we were a nice story, but we're not going to sneak up on anybody now.
In that vein, with the players having established themselves, a lot of the young guys like Correa and Tucker came along and did some things as they got their first major league opportunities, and now the league has had a chance to see this team a little bit more. Any difference in your mind about approaching this season on their part?
They'll have to adjust to the league.
Deep drive to center, and Applin's underneath it.
They'll have to adjust to the league, as they adjust to them. The interesting part, we saw that even within last season, the way they pitched Correa, the way they started to pitch Tucker, up in the zone a little bit. Some of the younger pitchers, McCullers, had to make an adjustment. Some teams adjusted to him. So this game's full of it, full of adjustments, and they have to learn how to compete. The good part about our club is we're not going to change our personality. And the group that our fan base and our team fell in love with is back, and that's what I wanted to check this season, is our culture, our chemistry, our spirit, and our attention to detail. It's been pretty good. I've been proud of them so far in camp.
I know things have changed in Major League Baseball now. Celebrating is allowed, but I think that's one thing the fans really enjoyed about this club last year.
Yeah, no, we have a fun group, and they let their personalities show. And we had one of the youngest position player groups in baseball last year, and one of the more veteran pitching staffs. And I think that's why part of our charm was how youthful we played. We flew all over the bases. We played with a lot of looseness. Obviously, we had a lot of home runs. That's cause for celebration. So. We can take it a little too far sometimes if you're the manager, but from an enjoyment standpoint, these guys know how to answer the bell at the biggest moments.
I thought that was your style coming out in this ball club, AJ. I mean, your first year, and all of a sudden Club Astros shows up. I put it on you.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's right. It was my personal fog machine in the clubhouse. That's what we go with.
Oh, the family let you take that out of the house.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we do see you smiling a little bit, but. A manager's supposed to be just focused and stern, and how much can you test that as a person?
Well, I have a mean look, it's funny. These guys really know my personality well, and we have a lot of fun behind the scenes in the morning meetings when we're getting to know our young players all the way through the season. I mean, I'm going to let them show myself and let me be me. I let them be them. But there's always these moments when 7 o'clock comes and we're playing the games or during the games. There's a seriousness to how we go about our work, and we don't mess around when it's not the right time. So I like the way that our guys can flip the switch and get competitive.
Anthony Garcia batting now, and pop up out to shallow right field. White is able to snag it. That's such a quick inning, but we thank you, AJ, for being on with us. Best of luck to you.
You got it. Thanks for having me. We'll see you guys.
3-0 Astros.
Simi Cardinals and Astros going at it. Astros 2 home runs have them up 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. And single game tickets for 2016 Astros season go on sale Monday, March 7th. Get your tickets to see incredible games such as the Astros home opener versus the Royals and matchups against the Cubs, Yankees, Red Sox, and Rangers. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
3-0 Astros. They hit a pair of first-inning homers. Marwin Gonzalez a solo shot. Luis Valbuena hit a 2-run homer to right field here at Osceola County Stadium. Just a gorgeous day, and with that little breeze, that does make a difference because it is warm. But throughout the spring here, things will quite often turn quickly. We've seen some rainy days, some blustery days down through the years. If we could get 4 weeks just like this, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Oh, this would be perfect. You're welcome. I brought this with me from California.
Okay. So that's how it got here.
Packed it up, unloaded it last night, and here it is.
We talked a few minutes ago about the outfield situation. Here's Jake Marisnick now leading it off in the last of the second inning. Jake was a big part of that defensively for the Astros. He hit very well out of the chute. Terrific month of April. 379 in April for Jake. Winding up at 236 for the year. 9 homers, 36 runs batted in. Many acrobatic diving catches. He is a graceful player in the outfield.
No, he's one of the better center fielders, I think, in all the league. And that, what happened last year, I think, got him the recognition, not only with the team doing as well as it did, but put the spotlight on these guys and the plays he was making out there. Definitely defensively puts him in the top 5 for me. But if that bat could come around and be consistent around 275, get his speed on bases, he's going to score runs, he's going to steal bases.
He had 24 steals in 33 tries last year. AJ was talking about the aggressive play, and he was certainly one of those on stealing bases, not shy at all about running. That's a strikeout looking. Strikeout number 2 for Jaime Garcia. Roberto Pena will be next. We talked about Roberto, who last year at AA Corpus Christi hit 237, had 1 homer, 22 runs batted in. The offense not there to the extent that he would have liked to see it last year, but his glove work and the way he sets up behind the plate, works with the pitchers, has gotten a lot of rave reviews down through the years. He's still a young man, just 22. He's from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Began with the Astros in 2010 after they drafted him in the 7th round. And right now, of course, the backup catching job is open on the Astros. Max Stassi has big league time in, but it is yet to be seen whether he will make the opening day roster behind the starter Jason Castro.
It's a good feeling going into spring. I don't care what the number is on your back. If you've got an opportunity to impress and have an outside shot at making a ball club, that changes everything. And I think that backup role for a catcher, similar to that backup quarterback job in the NFL, is just, you got to be somebody who can manage the game defensively in baseball. Be able to throw guys out, work with the pitchers, have that good rapport, and every once in a while, maybe you sneak attack, get you a bomb every now and then, driving a big run. But the expectation, first and foremost, is to be that solid defensive catcher that can fill in maybe once or twice a week when necessary.
Hank Conger was the backup last year, and he's no longer on the scene with Houston. There's a liner, and it's caught just before it would have hit the ground for out number 2. Conger has moved on to Tampa Bay, and that's why it's such a different feel for that backup catcher spot, because Conger was brought in and he had shown a good bat with the Angels. Didn't hit last year the way he had hoped to, but nonetheless, the Astros now, not having the experience of a Conger, are going to be turning to a younger catcher, it would appear, to back up Jason.
Yeah, that'll put a lot of pressure on Jason to play probably a lot more frequently than he probably anticipated coming into the season, but he probably enjoys that fact too. And at the same time, I think that defensive aspect is why Hank Conger is where he's at now and why the Astros are choosing to have a backup catcher that may be a little more defense-oriented.
Andrew Applin, taking ball 1, is 24 years old. from Vallejo, California. He went to Arizona State, drafted in 2012 in the 5th round, and he too is known as a defensive whiz in the outfield. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last year he started at Corpus Christi hitting .343, and at Fresno he hit .275 and 233 at bats, 2 homers, 28 runs batted in.
Made some circus catches out there in center field in Fresno.
Yes, he did. You're
right.
A
lot of area to cover out there, and he was doing a great job at it.
Well, this organization is just chock full of highly rated defensive outfielders.
Isn't that the truth?
Big breaking ball, and that's strike 2. AAA club, of course, won the championship last year in the Pacific Coast League. Andrew and company really playing well for manager Tony DeFrancesco. That's in the air behind the dish. These are nightmarish plays for catchers in the spring. How would you like to be behind the dish and have a pop-up like that on a day with no clouds above the field?
No clouds. You turn around and immediately look right back into the sun. That is not a good feeling at all. Let alone just being a catcher.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Try to pick a ball out of that sky. This ballpark opened in 1985. The Astros played the Yankees in the first game here. Yogi Berra was managing the Yankees. Bob Lillis, the Astros, struck him out, and that's number 3 for Garcia. 3-0 Astros after a couple. Are underway. Our crew will attempt to borrow some of those after the game, and looks like fun, doesn't it?
That's how we're getting back. Back to the hotel on that thing.
Osceola Parkway is going to be interesting then. Here is Will Harris, the 31-year-old pitcher who did so well last year, 5-5 with a 1.90 ERA. We have more from Julia Morales.
Thank you, Brownie. It was good to catch up with Will Harris after the year that he had. Lots of talk about him even going to that All-Star game at one point. Just feeling really comfortable with the Astros by the end of the season. Felt like he'd been with the Astros. He worked really well with Brent Strom, the pitching coach, throughout the season. So got to catch up with him about the way things ended for the Houston Astros. Really tough on Will Harris. That Game 4 against the Royals, a really rough 8th inning. Takes a lot of blame for that. Just heartbroken. Said it was probably the lowest point of his entire baseball career. Thought about it a lot. Wasn't even ready, he said, to mentally pitch in Game 5. Of course, they didn't call on him in that game, but he said he learned so much about himself and himself as a pitcher, too, with that experience. And that goes for a lot of these guys on the team that mentioned that. Just the experience they gained from being out there. There's nothing that can prepare you for a playoff atmosphere. So they're all looking to be better for it here in 2016, Brownie.
Thanks, Julia. We look forward to seeing your interviews that you've done with these players throughout the season. Good start for Wandy Rodriguez. 2 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. Eric Fryer, the catcher, takes ball 1 as we get underway in the 3rd inning. Fryer's been around the big league scene for a while. Pirates were one of his major league clubs. I believe he's been in the Twins organization. Infield shifts around, playing him to pull. Harris brings it in for a strike. Wandy, in the 2 innings that we mentioned, allowing 1 hit, no runs, had no walks and 4 strikeouts. That's a nice day for Wandy.
It's a beautiful day for Wandy. First impression is usually the one you want to make, and that's how he did it. Very nice.
That's in for a strike. I think we would normally agree, wouldn't we, that the pitchers are ahead of the hitters in these early games?
It seems to be that way. And it's just a timing thing. Pitchers have been doing a great job preparing to get into shape, but hitters always seem to be just a hair behind.
Valbuena takes that play. Of course, the pitchers and catchers report to camp several days ahead of the position players, as they say, as if pitchers and catchers don't play positions. But anyway, they've had a little more work, and they've been on a throwing program, probably many of them since December, right? So.
Yeah, and I think that's where the game has changed a little bit, how the off seasons go for some of these guys. With the resources these guys have at their fingertips in the cities that they go back to, the off-season programs are what they use to get in shape. So a lot of these guys are coming to spring training in shape. Pitchers' arms are probably not in prime condition, but they're pretty darn close. Whereas hitters in the off-season, basically all you're doing is hitting off tees, taking batting practice, not really seeing that live arm. So that's where the timing becomes an issue.
And timing is everything for hitters. Greg Garcia, the batter now. Well, if you had a club made and you're playing in game 2 of spring training, what's your objective? You're not necessarily having, I need 3 hits today as an objective. What is your objective?
One objective. Get out of it healthy.
Okay.
No aches and pains, no injuries, just nothing substantial. I mean, you know, the less that happens, the better. You maybe want to get one ground ball, make a good play on it, take one good pass, square a ball up, line out. Lineouts were the best ABs of any spring training. You hit a ball solid, you smoke it right at the shortstop or something like that. He catches it, you take 2 steps out of the box, head right back to the dugout.
Don't have to slide.
Nice leisurely day. Yeah.
Don't have to risk blowing out a hamstring going from first to third.
Exactly.
That's a good pitch and a strikeout. 2 down.
Wandy had himself a good afternoon here on this beautiful spring afternoon. Showed a good fastball. Still has good late life on that. And obviously you can see that he still can locate that pitch. Kind of dropped down a little bit. Cut that one. You can see the look on Moss's face as he saw that pitch go by. But still, for me, it's the same old Wandy. Aggressive with the fastball. Goes to the breaking ball when he needs to. Today he didn't need to.
Tommy Pham, who struck out in the first inning, comes around for the second time. Well, all the preseason magazines, of course, as you look at strike one from Harris, have come out, made their various predictions. They've got the projected lineups of all these teams down on paper. Now things begin to change as we begin the long spring campaign. Players get injured. Young guys come up from the minor leagues and try to grab jobs away from aging veterans, and it gets to be pretty interesting later on in spring training.
Most definitely does.
So you talked about the mindset of a veteran hitter, but let's say in your first big league camp, now you have to impress. You need to get hits early and try to change the thinking that might be out there on you.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. You've got to get off to a little bit quicker start as opposed to those guys that are established, been around for a while. They know the expectation is for the older guy is during the season. For those younger guys, you've got to go out there and make a quick impression, whether it's running out a ground ball, making the adjustment at the plate, making a great play on defense, not giving up. There's all kinds of things that go into it, but getting those hits early on obviously are in your favor.
Altuve shading his eyes as it goes out to right center field. And there's Marisnik with the catch. You saw Applin, you saw Pena. There are 2 guys trying to make that impression today. And the Astros will be up in the third in just a moment, leading 3-0.
Create memories, have fun, and enjoy a premium experience with an Astros luxury suite at Minute Maid Park. Whether you're treating your employees, hosting clients, or celebrating a special occasion, we will create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call the Astros premium ticket line at 1-877-9-ASTROS and reserve your luxury suite today. Brown.
Thanks, Julia. Interesting spring lying ahead for both of these clubs after their playoff runs last season. And with the Cardinals experiencing those changes we talked about earlier. Now, they still have a solid core, of course. You mentioned it. And the big excitement for them, I think, would be the return of Adam Wainwright healthy to their rotation this spring.
Yeah, maybe they didn't feel the need to go out there and make that big splash in the offseason because they knew Wainwright was coming back. It's always nice to get a mainstay like that back in your rotation. He's a big part of it.
Seth Maness takes over on the mound after Jaime Garcia worked the first couple of innings. Jose Altuve the batter. And it's strike one to Jose. Mike Matheny, a very talented young manager. In fact, these two managers today, two of the brightest minds in the manager's chairs in Major League Baseball. Altuve rolls out to first, one out. And Matheny has taken his team to the playoffs his first 4 years as a Major League manager with a .579 winning percentage.
Sounds like he got the keys to the Ferrari. But a Cardinal guy who spent a lot of time in their organization as a player, now managing that team. He understands the psyche that they bring to the table, able to maintain it. But I think they've done a good job, and I think you're seeing the Astros do the same thing, is creating that culture of winning. They do a good job with these guys in the minor leagues of not only developing them as players, but I think what makes the Astros different is they're developing these guys as winners. So when they get here, their intent on playing is not only doing well for themselves, but also doing well in the fact of winning ball games.
Marwin Gonzalez went deep his first time up as a right-handed batter. How many times did you hit homers in a game from both sides of the plate, Plummer?
4 times. Pretty cool feeling.
Gotta be. Maness has been a hard thrower. He went to the 11th round of the 2011 draft before he was taken by the Redbirds, but he's proven out to be a good Major League pitcher. Last year he had 3 saves along the way. Primarily a setup man who in 2014 had a .291 ERA that year. And we talked about the Astros and their schedule against the NL Central in the upcoming season. That will include the Chicago Cubs making a September trip to Houston. That is on a lot of folks' calendars right now.
I'm just going to say, how big a series could that be? And it sounds odd to say it, but it could be a potential World Series matchup, as bizarre as that sounds to most longtime Astro fans.
Well, especially considering where those two organizations were about 3 years ago. You're right.
Yeah, even better point.
Second walk of the day by an Astro, and now it's Carlos Correa batting. He drew the first walk back in the first inning against Garcia. Mike Fiers on the bench. Dallas Keuchel is down to make his first start next Wednesday, we're hearing. That'll be one of our televised games. We're on the air again tomorrow, 11:30 Central Time again for the Astros pregame live show. Good to have Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton back in the studio this season. Rolled up the middle, and that's backhanded. Here's Wong with a looping throw. That's an excellent play over to Moss. Out number 2. He just signed a 5-year contract extension a few days ago.
Ball not hit all that hard. Shading him a little bit to that pull side makes it a little bit easier to come across, but still a strong throw coming across his body to first. Nice play.
He crossed in front of the shortstop on that play. Luis Valbuena will bat now. He ripped a 2-run homer his first time up. Much more difficult play for the second baseman.
Going away from first base, exactly.
How would that communication work for you if you were the shortstop and you were in position and you did not want that second baseman to make a more difficult play than you could make?
Usually you start screaming at him saying, I got it, or mine. But I think in that case it was, I got it, you take it.
Yeah, because the shortstop was quite a bit deeper, Garcia. So if he makes a beeline and cuts in towards second base, there's a possible collision happening there, right?
Yeah, and that's not something you would normally anticipate. But I think in this day and age, the way baseball and some of these shifts are going on, it's part of the infielder's job to recognize when those shifts are on and where those fielders are at to avoid those conflicts and trying to get the ground ball. So I think Garcia, in that sense, knew that Wong was over there, had coverage on a steal and on a ground ball for the double play, so was just on the way over there, and he let him have it.
Good point. Good play by the catcher, Fryer. Balbuena really helped the Astros cause last year. Now Jed Lowry is back in Oakland, no longer a part of the infield picture. Balbuena would appear to be in for a whole lot of playing time this season. One question would be, does he stay in the lineup against left-handed starters? Because the Astros may want to go to a right-handed option at third. That's where a player like a Matt Duffy, should he make the club, might come in.
Yeah, we talked about how important it is sometimes for some of these young guys to make a quick, fast impression. I think Duffy did a pretty good job of that yesterday, hitting a mega bomb to left field out there in Clearwater.
Yes. Marwin Gonzalez, of course, can play all those positions, and he brings a switch hitter's bat to all of them. Gets past the pitcher and out to shortstop. And Garcia takes it over to first for the third out. After 3, the Astros lead it 3-0. Nothing. The Astros lead it here. Glad to have you with us for this spring training telecast from Central Florida. Bill Brown and Jeff Blum, along with Julia Morales today, and Orbit, of course. Orbit was hanging out with the famous Philly fanatic yesterday in Clearwater. Alan Ashby joins our crew next week, and we'll have different combinations throughout the spring with a total of 10 telecasts. Can't remember ever doing 10 spring training telecasts. What do you think about that?
It's a big year. A lot of anticipation coming into the season, so we're giving them a nice early peak and often.
Now Dan Straley's in the game. He's pitcher number 3 for AJ Hinch. Will Harris had a clean 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout. Straley came in for some action with the Astros last year. Stephen Piscotty fouls it back. There is strike 1. And certainly with Dan a part of this deep pitching staff now to start the season, he has his hopes of being there when opening day arrives. He's 27 years old. He had 4 games with the Astros last year. And he's been in the big leagues in 3 years in a row, the 3 years prior to last year with Oakland and then Chicago. He came in the Dexter Fowler deal along with Luis Valbuena. That's just foul. And you try to get to it while it still might have been fair. Straley began his career with Oakland. He was a 24th round pick in 09. At Fresno, he was 10-9 last year with a 4.77 ERA. He had 3 starts with the Astros. As I recall, on one of those, he had an overnight flight to get there, and that is kind of the fate sometimes of a guy who's at AAA, and he's called upon when needed, but it might not be exactly his day to pitch in the rotation, and it might not be with a whole lot of rest for travel.
Yeah, you're looking for opportunities, and sometimes they're not going to be in the best possible situations, but it's the big leagues, and you got to do what you got to do. Also depends on some of these ball clubs that you come up and face. If they're on a tear and you got to face a lineup that's swinging the bat real well, could make it dangerous. But there's always an opportunity for something positive to come out of it.
Scotty is the only Cardinal hit through the first 3. The Astros hit a couple of first-inning homers, Marwin Gonzalez and Luis Valbuena. Straley was cut from his high school team.
What?
It's hard to believe, isn't it? And he wound up going to Western Oregon University and Marshall University, where he pitched. Marshall was the only college to offer him a scholarship. So it seems as if he's been battling respect issues his whole career, right?
And you talk about being tested.
That's hit on a line. Applin over to pick it up on a bounce. Sharp single by Piscotty, who's 2 for 2. Here's what happened yesterday with Orbit.
You don't want to mess with the Fanatic.
Oh, no, that wasn't yesterday. That was... it was yesterday. All right. Okay. Thought we were flashing back to Julia's trip to Philadelphia a few years ago.
I'll tell you what, it's one thing to start a brawl, but you go into the Fanatic's backyard, might end up paying the price. Good to see you got his lid back.
Oh, yeah. Got the new spring training caps with that Florida Highway logo on them. Randall Grichuk, the batter, he struck out earlier. And he's late on that one for strike 1. We talked about the first game played here in 1985. That began the 32 seasons of spring training for the Astros here at this complex. You know, there are 300 game winners, 24 of them. 11 of the 24 have either pitched here or visited this ballpark in the 32 years. And 2 U.S. presidents have thrown out first pitches here. So there's some tradition.
Pretty good legacy.
Yeah, not sure if there will be a team here in the future because the contract ends after this spring. So whether another team would be moving here or not, we don't know.
I remember playing minor league games here. 1995 came through and played the Kissimmee Cobras in the Florida State League.
Right.
And I want to say Ash managed the Kissimmee Cobras.
Yes. He managed the Cobras. You're right. Their cap was really cool.
Yeah. That curled up snake.
Curled up snake on the cap, yeah. Used to have one of those. Wish I still did. Probably aren't any around anymore. 2 balls and a strike.
This day and age with the internet, Brownie, I'm sure you can find pretty much about anything.
That's true. So the new ballpark is the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. It's an interesting name.
Prestigious.
Yep. It's built on a landfill in West Palm Beach. Runner going, line drive hit to left field. Tucker will not make a throw to third. And it's first and third as Grichuk advances Piscotty. Scotty was in motion. Tucker came up and took a glance at third base, but Scotty had a pretty good leg up on getting to third by the time it was fielded by Preston and left. Helicopter coming over. Is that your ride home, Blummer?
Well, I thought you called a high chopper in the infield.
High chopper over the mound right there. Yeah, that was Jim Deshaies' famous line. Brandon Moss, the batter. And there is strike one. Moss struck out in the first inning. He has that uppercut swing, which has produced a few home runs down through the years. One ball, one strike. The players typically are here by what, 7 a.m.
Yeah,
for a day game.
No, spring training. Yeah, you're there early, depending on your program. If AJ says that you have the next day off, guys will show up early, get their workouts in before hitting the field so that they can get out of the complex a little bit earlier. A lot of managers are different. I remember being here in 02-03 with Jimmy Williams, and those were the only 2 years I ever thought I wanted to be a pitcher, because those guys, it was like Club Med out here. They didn't even have to shag.
Really?
Oh, they had Stretch Suba on a golf cart with buckets driving around the outfields, picking up all of the batted baseballs from BP. So the pitchers were out of here at tee times, I think, at 10:30 every day.
Would they go over their round hole by hole with you the next day?
Yes. Rubbing in their scorecards, rubbing it in.
That is rubbing it in. Strikeout of Moss. It's out number one for Straley. That's pretty low.
Big strikeout for Straley. Now a ground ball gets you out of this situation that he's got himself in with back-to-back hits to lead off the inning.
Jacob Wilson, the batter. So what do you do from 7 a.m. until game time at 1:05 Eastern?
Crush the spread. Get you a good omelet. See how the coffee is. You always want to get that first cup of coffee in spring training, because usually by about 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's turned pretty rotten after that. But it's the same thing during the season. Guys show up early. You want to talk baseball. You want to get around it. You want to, just kind of mull around and get the feel of the day.
So if you have to be in at 7, what time are you getting to bed at night?
Oh, apparently that was one of the funniest things. Spring training, I think I was in bed easily 9:30 every day. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to lay down and eventually fall asleep. I was crashed. I was either passed out on the couch from watching TV, or I would just immediately up into bed and pass out. Spring training's exhausting. What a lot of people don't realize, you're saying get there at 7:30, and people are kind of wondering what we're talking about. Good little slider, maybe a backup changeup. But these guys are on the field at 9:30, 10 o'clock, doing a couple fundamentals to get started with, and then they go into the full batting practice. So they have a full day workout before that 1 o'clock game every day in spring training. It's tough.
So when do you lift your weights?
You either do it pre-workout early in the morning, or you get it done after the game. Right now is an easy time, because you're going to see a lot of these guys in the next inning or so rotating out of this lineup, and when they go to the backfield, you can run to the cage, get some extra work in, or you head into that weight room and take care of the lifting then.
So with all this extra physical work that you're not going to be doing during the regular season, how much more do you eat in spring training?
Early and often. Again, it's one of those things. You got to replenish all the fuel you're using. You got to make the right choices in that fuel, but you are eating frequently, and that's what's changed also in this era too. Is that the resources in those clubhouses as far as food, much more abundant.
Applin with a catch. He'll have a throw to the plate. He has it on line. No, not quite, and the run scores. Throw drifted a bit. It's a sac fly for Wilson, and it's 3-1 Astros, with Piscotty scoring. Applin did a nice job of getting himself ready to make the throw.
You got to give yourself a chance, and what Applin did by giving himself a chance is getting behind that baseball like you're talking about. Brownie, make the catch, good crow hop, and a one hopper to home plate, just a little offline. But again, if you're a manager or you're a coach in that dugout and you're watching these guys like Gary Pettis is working with the outfielders, that's what he wants to see. He wants to see if these guys are fundamentally sound on a day-to-day basis.
Colton Wong struck out earlier. And this one goes into the Cardinal bullpen area. Strike one, foul. Spring training must get pretty demanding physically then after you've been through 4 weeks of this.
Yeah, and for me personally, I think spring training is a little long. I understand why it's long, and I understand why there's so many games being played, but with that many games being played, you always, as a player, and I'm sure as front office and managers think, it always opens up the opportunity for injury to happen. You're increasing the chances. But it's also an opportunity for these guys to figure things out. You don't want to rush into a season. So it gives these guys a chance to get loose, work out the kinks, try something maybe a little bit different. Maybe a pitcher's working on a new pitch that he wants to try and create that good foundation to go into a season with. Maybe it's a hitter who's working on a new hand position or a new timing mechanism.
That's a soft liner hit into right field. Marisnik charging. Gets it back into Altuve, and it's 1st and 3rd on the Wong single. Hit number 3 of the inning by the Redbirds. Chris Maloney, the first base coach for the Redbirds, used to manage in the Astros system. Now it's Anthony Garcia batting. He fouled out in the first time up in the 2nd inning. All those years for the Astros, of course, in the National League Central, where they were rivals of the Cardinals. It was quite a playoff series in 04 between the two, and then another one in 05.
Yeah, those were amazing to watch. Just as a fan of the game and being on the outside watching. I mean, just two teams just literally battling it out day in, day out, pitch by pitch.
That's a liner, and it's fair into the left field corner. Scoring run number 2 for the Redbirds. An extra base is here. Stop sign at 3rd from Jose Oquendo as the ball comes in on the RBI double by Anthony Garcia. 3-2.
Garcia getting the head out, just snuck it inside that left field line. You could see there was a little hesitation on him to see if Cowboy Joe West was going to make that call in the fair part of the ballpark. As long as we're nitpicking up here. Tucker overthrowing both relay men out there, but luckily Valbuena there to triple coverage.
Now Eric Fryer's the batter. Fryer grounded out earlier with a chance to give the Redbirds the lead. And it's ball 1. AJ Hinch sees spring training as 3 different phases. In this initial phase, it's a matter of what you talked about earlier, Plummer, staying healthy, looking at a lot of different players. The winning comes later, but the focus is always there on things like hitting the cutoff man. There's no excuse at any phase of the spring. Two balls, no strikes.
Yeah, spring is a different animal for managers. And AJ and what Jeff Luno's done with this organization, I mean, there's just so much talent out there. Is how do you get these guys into ball games? And it's usually that first week and a half where you just try and rotate as many guys in there, not only so you get to see them, but you've got to give these guys an opportunity. You got to throw them a bone and say, hey, here's your chance. Here's a big league ball game. Go out there and see what you can do. Have some fun with it. Then that middle part, you're trying to get your core guys going again, and then that final week is when you really solidify things heading into that season. And I agree with you and AJ as far as the wins are concerned. It's nice to get them, but it's not mandatory. You want to make sure that they're, like you just said, they're playing the game the right way, they're healthy, and they're making good decisions. Because you can tell if a guy is 0 for 4 if he's swinging the bat well. For me, if he's making good, hard, solid contact, seeing some pitches, working counts, you can see that he's having a good spring and that he's saving those hits for the regular season where he should be. So is the clock on right now, Brownie?
The 30-second clock is on, yes. 30 seconds is the new rule. That's the time limit for a visit to the mound. And
is it when they come out of the dugout, or
yes,
is it when they get on the mound?
It's when they leave the dugout. Ooh. At first step on the field, the 30-second clock starts now.
We're going to ask Strami what his offseason program was, man. Because I tell you what, in Oakland, that's a trek.
Yes, it is. AJ talked about that before the game today. Those ballparks like the one in Oakland, O.Co Coliseum, require a lot longer trip to the mound because the dugouts aren't as close to the baselines. Greg Garcia takes ball one with the bases loaded here for Straley, and he's trying to protect this 3-2 lead with 2 outs. AJ was asked if he thought that the 30 seconds would be enough time. He said yes, it will. The conversation itself does not take that long. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, an attempt by Major League Baseball to go a little step further than last year with the speed-up measures of the game. And another one of those is not allowing quite as much time between innings when there's not a national telecast. There's the block by Pena, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
Just seems to be something every year. You know, you wonder what the next step is going to be. You know, as a player, not that you have routines or anything that, you know, would cause the game to be excessively long, but still it's something that I think ball players are so routine oriented that once you kind of throw a wrench into that routine, it's a little worrisome sometimes.
True.
And it's another adjustment these guys have to make. But you've got to appreciate what they're trying to do to speed this thing up.
That was a pitch for Garcia, and he couldn't do anything with it. Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
I always felt that trip to the mound was part strategy, part not. I mean, there's going to be points during the season where the game gets ahead of you a little bit as far as how you're going to use pitchers. And you've used that stroll to the mound to get that guy loose in the bullpen, get him a couple extra pitches, or just get him up and get him hot. So that'll be the interesting part, because it'll affect how managers manage and how early they get guys loose in the bullpen.
That's a good point. Who would you say of the managers you can think of had the slowest walk to the mound? I think Lou Piniella was pretty slow at times, wasn't he?
Lou was pretty bad. But, well, I played with Lou in 2004, and the reason he was slow is because I don't think he wanted to bring in the guy.
Sure. Sure. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sure the whole time he's out there talking in his head, oh, who am I going to bring in, you know? But yeah, there are some guys. I know Bull Porter liked going out there quite a bit.
Yes, he did. Struck him out looking. Big pitch for Straley. It's now a tighter ball game, down to 1 run for the Astros, who lead it 3-2. It's 3-2. The Astros lead it. C.J. McElroy taking over in right field from Stephen Piscotty. And we do have a lot of high numbers this spring, don't we?
Yeah, a couple of wide receivers out there.
It's part of spring training.
Yes, it is.
Numbers like 97 and 98. And we have a new pitcher. Weaver is on the mound as well.
Yeah, my first big league spring training in '99, I wore number 83, I believe. It was a whiteout for the Alouettes.
How did you feel about being given the number 93?
I was elated. I was like, somebody gave me a big league jersey. I could care less what was on the back of it. You know what's even better is I got called up that same year, and I moved into the linebacking corps with the number 50.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I was running around. You were probably calling those games in '99 with me. It was number 50.
Yeah. Well, you probably had to put on some weight then if you were going to play linebacker that year.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, man.
Tyler White is first man up for the Astros in the home 4th inning. They lead it now 3-2. He grounded out in the first inning. We talked about White having his success in the Dominican Winter League, and he's been known as a guy who's played some third, some first, primarily a hitter, though. So the defensive side of the equation is really big for him to prove that he can play first base here in spring training. It's not necessarily an assumption that a guy's going to hit in the big leagues when he's hit as well as Tyler has in the minors. 1 ball, 1 strike, but nonetheless it is a little bit sterner test to come up against the type of pitchers a guy will face in Major League Baseball.
So many things change once you get called up into the major leagues. Your surroundings are completely different, and I mean the biggest thing, probably the most obvious thing, is the pressure of it. The pressure to perform, the expectation to perform, especially if you're a guy like Tyler White who has those massive numbers in the minor leagues. Do you believe enough in yourself to have them translate into the major leagues?
One thing that projects really well for Tyler White is in 3 minor league seasons, he has a .422 on base average. He's walked more than he's struck out.
That's a beautiful thing. Good strike zone discipline, and when it's in the zone, he's obviously making pretty good contact too.
He chased one there, and that really helped Weaver. 1 out.
Astros mini plans are on sale now. Pick the games and seat locations that work best for you with the 15-game flex plan, or attend the games with the best giveaways with the 10-game award series package. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/mini plans to get yours today.
Preston Tucker comes to the plate. He lined out second his first time up. Our buddy Oscar Martinez sent along a nice quote. Baseball, it is said, is only a game. True. And the Grand Canyon is only a hole in Arizona.
Kind of underselling that a little bit, aren't we?
Tucker puts it in the air, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Preston's younger brother Michael, of course, attracting a lot of attention after his high selection in the draft last year, and playing at Class A baseball now. We have the 2 Tucker brothers to follow in Astros camp.
It was a good story on the Stassi brothers being able to play against each other yesterday in Clearwater. Max's younger brother playing in the Philadelphia Phillies organization. But yeah, you could have Tucker and Tucker out there in the outfield.
That one's hit well to right center field. A long run here, and Tucker has hit one out. That's the 3rd home run of the day for the Astros, and Preston Tucker makes it now a 4-2 Houston lead.
Just picking up where they left off last year. Runs galore on those home runs, those long fly balls for the Houston Astros, driving the ball nicely. Hands back, good separation. I always remember, kids, when you're at home, you watch them get so direct to that contact point, but the ability for some of these guys to stay through that baseball and create that backspin, just a little bit extra oomph on it to get that ball out of the ballpark. Good swing.
Foul ball by Marisnick, strike 1. So Tucker, who lined out to second earlier, drills this one that nobody could make a play on. Just to the right of the 410 sign. Wind is blowing over toward the right field corner right now. In for a strike, and it's 0-2 to Jake. There do not seem to be many jobs up for grabs in Astros camp. If it's a given that Jake Marisnick is the 4th outfielder, then that 5th outfield spot, if there is one, is on the line, and Preston Tucker puts up an early bid with a home run here today to try to claim that spot again, as he did last year. Marisnick with a flare toward the right field line, and a foul ball.
And again, that's that home run pop that you have on the bench is what you need late in ball games. You have the closers coming in tight ball games with 1-run lead, and you have a guy at the plate that can tie it up or put your team ahead with one swing of the bat. Doesn't happen all the time, but still you want to have that guy that is a threat. And all these guys, what's interesting is they bring a little bit something different to the table. Marisnick, obviously a defensive guy, speed guy. Tucker lacks a little bit in the outfield, but drives the ball out of the ballpark, not afraid of the moment. We've seen with some big clutch hits. Colby Rasmus pretty much does it all, but defensively, the Astros should be in great shape in the outfield again.
Loop to shallow left center field. That one drops in, and Marisnick is aboard with a flare. One thing, of course, that is up in the air is Evan Gattis, and will he be healthy and ready to start the season? So there may perhaps be an opening at DH.
Very good point.
Marisnick's aboard. Now here's Pena.
It's going to be tough to lose all those triples in your lineup.
Yeah. Evan, by the way, was doing some pregame workouts, but he's limited in what he's allowed to do right now. He was playing some catch. He had sports hernia surgery and may be able to get in games. We'll guess perhaps by the middle of the month. That's just a guess. Marisnick started and stopped. High chop to third. And there's the force at second, and Wong with a turn to first, and that's a 5-4-3 twin killing. The Astros get a run on 2 hits, and after 4, they lead it 4-2.
Hello, Geico? Yeah.
Will join us from New York as the Astros take on the Yankees in a rematch of last year's AL wildcard matchup. Baseball is back Monday, April 4th, and it begins at 11:30 a.m. with Astros pregame presented by Toyota.
That's the last guy the Yankees want to see to open up their season in Yankee Stadium.
Wow. Dallas Keuchel did not allow a run against them last year, regular season or postseason. Preston Tucker hitting the 3rd long ball for the Astros today. The earlier ones went to Marwin Gonzalez and Luis Valbuena in a 3-run first. It's now 4-2 Astros, and right-hander Cesar Valdez comes in. Valdez is 31 years old. Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Pitched in Mexico last year. He's had 9 years of minor league seasoning. His first pitch goes for strike 1. Tommy Pham, the batter. Dan Straley in 1 inning allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. He had 1 walk, and there's strike 2, and he had a couple of strikeouts. Sounds like the allergies have Mr. Blum.
Got me. Every year, it doesn't matter. On the field or off the field, they've got me.
Struck him out looking. A good start for Valdez.
A little drop down split finger. Watch the rotation was unbelievable. You can see that Garcia had a tough time picking that up, just shaking his head.
Strikeout number 8 for Astros pitchers today. Now McElroy with strike 1. He took over in right field for Piscotty. No balls and 2 strikes. Happy birthday wishes go out to Astros fan Matt Hudis in Virginia. Valdez, a part of the depth acquired by Jeff Luhnow and his staff over the winter. As every general manager in baseball is just trying to keep the system stocked with replacement for injury-type players. Drops that one in for a strikeout, and he is really off to a good one today with a couple of strikeouts to open his outing.
He's throwing a wiffle ball up there. See him kind of slinging, but he's arms going one way, ball's going in a different direction. Keep throwing for strikes.
Well, he's dazzled the first 2 hitters.
Go back to the dugout and guys hitting behind you. What was that? And you're like, I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you.
This grounder goes foul. Strike 1 to Grichuk, who is 1 for 2. Good young player, athletic. He came in the David Freese trade from the Angels. One ball, 1 strike. Wandy Rodriguez started today. Colin McHugh is down to start tomorrow's game. That sidearm delivery again, bringing it in for a strike. 1 and 2. Colin, a 19-game winner last year, will be pitching here against the New York Mets tomorrow in our next telecast. Airtime 11:30 for Astros pregame live. Sunday, Scott Feldman is down to pitch against Toronto, and that's a split squad day. Brad Peacock also will pitch that day at Bradenton against the Pirates. Monday, the Astros will be playing the Yankees in Tampa, and Mike Fiers is the scheduled starter there. So it appears that with Lance McCullers now taking over as one of the top 3 starters in the rotation last year, that's a strong top 3 when you look at the Cy Young Award winner from last year. And that's that Yankee opening day start we project for Dallas Keuchel. He's already been named the opening day starter. Then Colin McHugh. Then Lance McCullers. And then Mike Fiers is certainly in the mix for that number 4 spot. And then Scott Feldman comes back from an injury. He's healthy this spring, along with yesterday's starter, the newcomer from Washington, the big right-hander Doug Fister. So there's some competition. In effect, 6 of those for 5 spots. Correa falling as he went to backhand the ball, and it's off his glove and on through into left field. Lost his footing on that.
Shift was on. See in the right position, step and a dive, but I think that initial step is what gave out on Correa. And it's tough, too. Sometimes that baseball gets on you pretty quick, and you find yourself in that in-between. Do I dive? Do I not stand up and backhand this one?
That's a hit for Grichuk, and he draws the throw. Brandon Moss, the batter. Cardinals scored 2 runs on 4 hits in the last inning, so they have a total of 6 hits today. To the Astros 4, but the Astros have 3 long balls. And another throw goes over to first. Got a pinch runner at first there for Grichuk.
Charlie Tilson.
Okay. Altuve fields the one hopper, and he gets him. No runs, a hit, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Astros up 4-2.
Osceola Stadium, 4-2 Astros on top of the Cardinals. 2016 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Buddies members receive a voucher for 4 tickets to a select Astros game, front of the line access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies for all of the details and to purchase a membership for kids up to 12 years old. Gentlemen, up to you.
Oh, you don't have to be so formal, Julia. It's
been a while since I've seen you. I need to be nice to you guys.
Besides that, you know we're not gentlemen, so you don't have to.
That'll wear off quickly, trust me.
We can handle that.
We know Julia.
4-2, the Astros lead it. Bottom of the 5th inning. Andrew Applin leads it off. We have a new first baseman, Jonathan Rodriguez, a new catcher, Carson Kelly. And that's strike 1. Applin struck out in the 2nd inning. Astros beat the Phillies yesterday 3-2. That was a crisp game for them. 2 balls and a strike. Well pitched ball game. So AJ Hinch liked what he saw in Clearwater. Now Applin is trying to get something going with a 3-1 count opening the home 5th inning here. Bouncer headed for right field and on through for an Applin single. Hit number 5 for the Astros. As you've followed the activity of all the clubs in the AL West, Plummer, Texas Rangers are drawing, of course, a lot of attention from people again this year. Seattle Mariners have made some moves. They have a new skipper. Former Astros catcher Scott Service has taken over for them. And they have some interesting power hitters in that lineup. They got a little help for Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz. Picking up the first baseman from Milwaukee. Here's Altuve batting now. And he looks at ball 1. And the Angels have not done a whole lot. Oakland's made a few moves. So that's the AL West. How have you seen it as it's developed for you?
I think it's in the state of Texas for me.
Yep.
It's between the Rangers and Astros. But the Ian Desmond pickup, I'm surprised not many more people were trying to jump on that train and try and pick him up. I think it's a good spot for him to be. It'll be interesting to see how he plays in left field. I'm not sure if he's ever done it, but it'll probably be the first time we get to see him do it in the big leagues. Texas is a big outfield. The ball flies out there consistently. But I think the Rangers made a smart pickup, picking up a right-handed hitter in Ian Desmond, just knowing that Dallas Keuchel is in their division. They have a chance to face him quite a bit this season.
Right. And we've seen some very late signings on the free agent market this winter. It's been an unusual year. Dexter Fowler just signing a few days ago with the Chicago Cubs after the deal with Baltimore came unraveled. And so on down the line. Throw over first. The runner's back in.
Yeah, I just don't see the benefit in holding out that long and not being on a spring training baseball field somewhere. Because exposure can be good or bad. But for some of these guys, like a David Freese, how is he not on a roster somewhere?
Right.
Because, like we talked about, Wandy Rodriguez signing a minor league deal, maybe not a guaranteed big league contract like he'd like, but still, he's out here pitching in a big league game, struck out 4 hitters today, and there's 29 other teams out there right now going, hey, do you see what Wandy did? You know, and injuries occur throughout spring training, giving these guys an opportunity maybe to move to a different organization.
Altuve puts it in the air to right field, and that wind is helping it a little bit. Deep in right. That's going to be in for extra bases. If one hops the 390 sign, here's the go-ahead. And the relay to the plate. And the tag is waiting, but it gets away from him, and Applin scores. Applin's able to come in at home plate as that throw short hopped the catcher Kelly, who was unable to hang on to it. And the Astros lead grows to 5-2 on the Altuve RBI double.
Another extra base hit for the Houston Astros. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Applin out there has got to hold his ground a little bit. He knows that ball struck well, but you see him drifting. As the outfielder is drifting back as a base runner, Applin did a good job of drifting further towards the base in front of him, allowing him to get a good jump to score on this play. Pretty good throw by Wong, but again, that short hop ate up the catcher. Just out of that edge of the glove, unable to make the pickup. But I appreciate the fact that Gary Pettis pressures the defense. You know, as a defensive fielder with Gary Pettis at third base, he's going to force you to make the play. He's constantly waving guys around.
John Singleton is the hitter now for Marwin Gonzalez at DH, taking ball one. Marwin with a homer and a walk today, leaving the game after the perfect day. Gary Pettis extremely aggressive at third base, and we saw it pay off many times last year.
And it benefits him having the guys on this roster that can run.
Singleton takes. That's called a strike, and it's 1-1. So John goes into the first base battle this spring, having been named as the front runner for the job.
Tony Kemp.
Tony Kemp is the pinch runner for Altuve. Singleton hit 191 last year for the Astros in 47 at-bats. Had a good year at AAA, 22 homers for Fresno, 83 runs batted in. He was 0 for 3 yesterday against the Phillies. 2 balls and a strike to Singleton. Singleton also got considerable playing time in 2014 for the Astros, hitting 13 homers, driving in 44 runs and 310 at-bats with a 168 average. Lifetime batting average for John Singleton in the big leagues, 171 for 357 at-bats. And he has put on some upper chest muscle, it appears, during the offseason. One story said about 15, 20 pounds. 3 balls and a strike.
Prince Jr.
He's a big fellow. Big cut there by Singleton. Takes the count to 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Did a good job of getting himself into that count. That hitter's count at 3-1. Sit on that fastball, let her rip.
Chris Carter hit the late flurry of home runs for the Astros last season. Then he was not tendered a contract. He then signed as a free agent with Milwaukee, leaving the opening at first base. Singleton takes a close one, and it's strike 3. So John 0 for 4 to start spring training 2016.
It's not one of those situations you want to go down looking, either put it in the hands of the umpire to make that call, even though it's borderline on that outside corner, maybe off the plate, but still middle of a lineup guy in a 3-2 count with a runner in scoring position. That's a real chance for you to put that ball in play, and especially with nobody out. Roll that ball over, move the guy to third base.
Correa bats. He could be coming out of the game after this at bat. It's his 3rd trip to the plate today. That's fairly standard for early games in spring training for the regulars. That's the block by the catcher Kelly on ball 1.
Yeah, those early spring training games are just waves of players coming in. It's almost like hockey, how they come in shifts.
Line changes constantly.
Yeah.
Did you see the footage of Correa, who was in New York along with Dallas Keuchel when they accepted their awards? Keuchel getting the Cy Young and Correa the Rookie of the Year. There was a terrible snowstorm in New York, and essentially they canceled the dinner, although they had the dinner for a smaller group. And Correa was diving into snowdrifts outside on the streets of New York that day.
As fun as that looked, I'm sure there was a lot of panic in the booth next to us where Jeff Luhnow is sitting with the front office staff.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that was the first time he's ever seen snow, too.
That's right.
I mean, heck of a storm to get stuck in.
Weaver throws a strike. It's 1-1 to Correa. Weaver is from DeLand, Florida. 22 years old. Toronto drafted him. Originally, he didn't sign, and then he was a first-rounder with the Cardinals in 2014. 27th overall pick. He's high with that one, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Weaver last year with Palm Beach was 8-5 with a 1.62 ERA. I think that's one of the things that we enjoy so much is watching these young guys for the first time in spring training. Blummer, here's a first-round pick. See how he does against the established major league talent. Try to gauge where he might be. He gets a strike there. And Correa is rung up as he throws his head back. It's strikeout number 2 in a row.
Yeah, I think that is part of the fun in spring training, especially in this day and age where there's so much information out there, whether it be a website or the publications that come out with these projections and all these prospects. Now you actually get to see them in game action trying to figure it out.
Valbuena was playing with a foot injury at the latter stages of the season last year. Luis ripped a 2-run homer in the first, then he grounded out to shortstop. Pat Neshek also was limping at the end of the year last year. He had a piece of bone removed from his foot surgically over the winter.
Did you happen to see any of the pictures of that on the internet?
I did.
Oh my God.
That was rather gruesome, wasn't it?
Why did I have to click on that?
Exactly. That's what I was asking. Yeah, the piece of bone that was removed was next to a ruler, so you could see like a 1-inch thick piece of bone, right?
Just to drive it home for you.
It illustrated all too graphically what players sometimes go through at the end of the season rather than go on the disabled list.
Yeah, that's that whole theory. You know, can you play in pain or can you play with an injury? So playing with pain, that's what you're talking about. The injury puts you out of the game. But that was pretty impressive.
Well, you understand that players in a pennant race will do things that they wouldn't do when they were 30 games out.
That's something that you don't talk about too often. You're exactly right. A little bit more on the line. You're going to build up that pain tolerance to get through it.
And excuse me, looping hit to right field for Valbuena. And the pinch runner Kemp comes to the plate. And the Astros get another run, 6-2 on the RBI single by Valbuena.
No chance getting Tony Kemp.
He's very speedy.
Good jump, and he's got the wheels.
Little top spin lob there, Blummer.
Well, it was very Bjorn Borgish. Good TV slide for Kemp, too.
Kemp had a really good diving play in yesterday's game. Tyler White is up for the third time. He grounded out and struck out. Strike to White. White, of course, as we talked about, going to the Dominican to play winter ball, subjecting himself to those pressure-packed crowds. And they will really let players know about it if they don't approve of their performance. So that some players come back from winter ball if they haven't been before and talk about that being a good experience because the fans are right on top of them and are vicious at times, but they feel that it helps to toughen them up for a major league season sometimes.
Yeah, it's not a vacation playing in that Caribbean League.
Did you play there at all?
No. No, I went to much tougher areas of the world to play my winter ball, like Australia,
Oh,
Hawaii.
no.
And Arizona.
That's not right.
Oh, it was. I got spoiled rotten, Brownie. Those were paid vacations.
So
They were awesome.
You wouldn't agree to do anything involving playing unless it was in a vacation paradise.
Well, those are the best phone calls you get as a minor leaguer too. You hear, you're going to go play winter ball, which is a good thing. And then you get the phone call, hey, Jeff, we want you to go play winter ball. I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready for like Puerto Rico, the Dominican, Venezuela, some of these places. And they say, the Australian Winter League. Oh, yeah, I can do that. If I got to, if it's going to help my career, I'll go to Australia for 2 months. Oh, Hawaii? I'm going to put me on the big island of Oahu? I got to play for Honolulu? It's for my future. I'll do it.
The sacrifices you players make sometimes.
Oh, it's tough.
Now, there's a rumor going around that you were the MVP in Australia.
I actually won the Gold Glove.
Nice.
Yeah. It was awesome. I had a blast down there playing on some... they would put their fields on rugby fields. So our home field, center field, was about 290 feet away. Talk about enticing a guy to stay in the center of the field. Oh, it was amazing.
So, in light of all the kangaroos surrounding you, did you get a special pouch with that Gold Glove?
Yes. Special carry-home pouch for my Gold Glove.
Did you actually see a kangaroo?
Yes. No, yeah. We went on many an adventure out there in Australia.
Did you get to the Outback?
No. Fortunately, not that far. We flew over it a couple times, going coast to coast, playing Perth and flying out of Sydney. But there were some interesting times out there in Australia, because you go into those. It wasn't necessarily a zoo, but it was just a wildlife kind of like refuge, and they'd let you go out there and hang out with the kangaroos.
Nice.
We were told not to hold the koalas for too long.
Okay, what's the reason for that?
Well, apparently they hang out in eucalyptus trees,
okay,
and they eat the eucalyptus leaves, but it acts as a as a drug to them.
Right.
And they have a tendency to lose control of certain bodily functions. Yes.
Okay.
So we refrained from holding those beautiful, cuddly koala bears for fear.
They are cute, but they are animals, right?
Yes.
Jose Altuve, Luis Valbuena, headed for the clubhouse. Bench coach Trey Hillman was walking down toward the Astros bullpen to have a conference with somebody. Runner going, and it's a strikeout. Tyler White whiffs. That's the third strikeout of the inning for Weaver. The Astros get a run on 2 hits, and they get 2 runs on 3 hits, and they lead it 6-2. Astros lead it, top of the 6th inning, and we have Carlos Correa. And boy, it was so much fun to watch you last year, Carlos Correa, and you went to New York, got the big trophy, Rookie of the Year. Now, 2016 is here. What are your thoughts?
Well, 2016 is going to be a great year for us. There's a lot of expectations going for this year. The atmosphere in the clubhouse is great. We want to win. We want to be able to win it all. And that's the bottom line. We're not thinking about going over 500 anymore. We're thinking about bringing a championship to Houston. So that's the main key in the clubhouse, and everybody's striving for that.
As far as what you are working on this spring, anything in particular?
Just working on everything, try to become a better player overall, my defense, my speed, how I run the bases, the hitting, everything. Just trying to be better every single day in order for me to help my team with more games.
Was there anything that surprised you about last year in terms of what you were able to do? I know you're a very confident young man. You prepared your whole life for this, but did you ever stop and say to yourself, gee, I just didn't know for sure I could do this?
Well, I always like you said, I'm very confident and I'm confident in preparation. And I always thought I would be able to do that. It was about time for me to be able to show my skills to the world and be able to perform for my team. And I think I did that. I had a lot of fun doing it last year, and I had a great group of guys around me backing me up the whole time. So the season was special because of the group of guys surrounding me.
Do you guys sit around and talk about this season? I mean, I know it's early in spring training, but I'm curious. I've played on teams where we had the expectation of winning. When you guys are in that clubhouse and it's just you guys talking about this season coming up, are you guys understanding how well you played last year and how you're going to have that translate into this season?
Yeah, we totally understand it. All we do is in the clubhouse is talk about winning and having fun and dancing around. Club Astros turn up all the way. So that's what we focus on. Just have fun. We're kids out there playing a game, so we just focus on having fun and make sure we bring the W's back to the clubhouse.
When you joined that clubhouse, you'd see George Springer come in there, and you'd see Carlos Gomez come in there after the trade. For some of us older folks, it was as if they were handing out Geritol tablets. There's just so much energy in that clubhouse when these two guys come in every day.
Yeah, that's true. They have a lot of energy, especially Carlos Gomez. He brings a lot to the table. He makes us a better team. And we're looking forward to having a full season, for me to be able to play a full season and all the guys being healthy in order for us to achieve what we want to accomplish.
Was it more fun than you thought it would be to be a major leaguer? Definitely.
It's more fun. It's better. It's more, it's where you want to be. It's where you want to be every single day. And there's no better place to be at playing baseball in the major leagues.
You know what? People watch so much. When you played with Altuve and you guys were in sync the whole time, we saw that last spring. How did you feel at the end of last spring training as far as how close you were to being a major leaguer?
Well, I felt like I was ready last year, but obviously I was coming from an injury, so it was not the right timing for me to start my major league career coming off an injury. So they made sure I got some at-bats in minor leagues, and then eventually they called me up on June 8 in order for me to play in the big leagues. And the chemistry with Altuve is a really good one. We're like brothers. We go have dinner together. Every single day we're at 7 a.m. taking ground balls on the minor league fields. So we're taking this very serious. We're taking it serious. We wanna be one of the best middle infielders out there, if not the best, and we wanna be able to help our team win ball games. So that's our main focus.
And I think that's one of the more interesting things in this dynamic is that Altuve has that 4-year contract. He has 3 more years, I think, on that contract. But also, Carlos, you are under club control for a couple more years. So I think this is something that the Astro fans can look forward to for a long time to come. But then you also add Dallas Keuchel on that bump, being under club control for a little bit longer, too. That strength really being up the middle. But talk to me about playing behind a guy like Dallas Keuchel.
Well, a guy like Keuchel is a guy you want to have in the mound every single night, every single game. He's a guy that is a great teammate. He's a great person, but he's an unbelievable pitcher as well. And he deserves, everything he's accomplished so far, and he's going to accomplish more because he works hard every single day. So when I see that guy coming in at 6 a.m. every single day, working hard in the gym, working hard with the team, you want to be able to make plays for that guy, because he's working to make the team better, and you want to do the same. So when you see a Cy Young doing it, when you see a 3-time All-Star in Jose Altuve doing it, how they work, how they go about their business, it's contagious. It's contagious, and everybody gets on that same bus, and everybody want to work hard in order for us to be a better team every single day.
All right. spring training is usually a good time. It's a little more laid back than the regular season. So who in that clubhouse right now is having the most fun in that clubhouse?
I think, everybody's having fun, but the guys that are the non-roster invitee, they're having a lot of fun. They ask a lot of questions. We take them out to dinner. We make sure they have a good time. We make sure they feel comfortable and make sure they feel part of the team, And I think they're having a lot of fun, but overall the team is having fun. We're working towards a goal, and there's nothing more fun than working towards something, waking up every morning, jump out of bed because you have something to work at.
Colby Rasmus has talked about when he was a rookie with the St. Louis Cardinals. And the situation with the Astros has always been, you as a rookie last spring were welcomed into that clubhouse and were treated more like a veteran. Don't you feel, compared to what you've heard about maybe things being differently in the past or with different clubs?
Oh, yes. I've heard so many things, and I really felt welcome as soon as I stepped foot in that clubhouse in Chicago. And the guys made sure I felt welcome, and it makes playing a lot better when you go out there and you feel comfortable where you are. You want to be there every single day. You get in early because you love being around your teammates. It makes playing baseball more fun, and that's what we want here in this clubhouse. That's what we want to do with every rookie that comes in for the years to come. So we make sure they're having a good time playing baseball.
You wrote an interesting article in a publication a few weeks ago about your off-season training regimen with some great photos of your work there. That is some kind of rigorous workout. How long have you been doing that?
I've been working like that since I was in high school. It was back home they called me. They say I was a workhorse, and I was working 24/7. But right now I'm working hard in the off season, but more smart. I know what I got to improve on, and I work towards that. And all the work on the pitch and all the work at the ballpark, the gym, everything is working towards a goal. It's not for no reason, And I wake up every morning, I jump out of bed because I got goals to accomplish. So that's the way to accomplish them, working hard every single day, and eventually live those dreams.
Kelly, the batter, with a couple of men on. He fouls it with the Astros pitchers leading the league in ERA last year, being a very good pitch-to-contact staff. Is it helpful for you as a shortstop to know that, hey, I've got a ground ball inducing staff right here. I'm going to get a lot of work today. You get into a rhythm. You maybe make some plays early in the game. Does that help in any way compared to guys who are striking out hitters right and left?
Sure, for sure. When Keiko pitches, I have my routine with Altuve. We take more ground balls than usual because we know we're taking a lot of ground balls that game, and a lot of ground balls are going to be hit because he pitches for contact and he keeps the ball in the ground. So with every pitcher, we have a different routine. When Mike Fiers pitches, he's a fly ball pitcher. We take less ground balls. We still get ready just in case we get some. But when Keiko pitches, now Doc Fister, sinker baller, we make sure we put in a good routine in order for us to be ready to take those ground balls and make good plays for them.
Who has impressed you among the players that you had not seen before spring? Anybody in particular?
The players I haven't seen. I think from the other guys, AJ Reed, J.D. Davis, Alex Bregman, Derek Fisher, all those guys, great players, great athletes. They will eventually get to the big leagues at some point and create an impact at the big league level and will eventually help us win ball games. And I think they're pretty special players, pretty special talents, and eventually they will help us a lot down the road.
Well, Carlos, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate your joining us today, and great season last year. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Carlos.
All right.
Well, on that play, at first base, the run scored, and so the Cardinals now trailing at 6-3 have Garcia at third. And 2 outs in the inning. So Valdez trying to get out of further trouble here with a runner at third base and the 3-run lead. And Greg Garcia, the batter, 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs today. There's strike one. What an outstanding season for Carlos Correa. And you've probably read some articles by now that he is considered to be the best shortstop in the major leagues, which is incredible for 1 year.
Yeah, I tweeted out a publication. I think it was the MLB Network that pumped out the top 10, 20 players or whatever in all of baseball, and the #1 shortstop on that list was Carlos Correa, along with Altuve as the top second baseman in all of baseball. Pretty impressive stuff. But what impresses me most about Carlos is I mean, this is going to sound silly, but his ability to sit there and have a conversation on TV and formulate a sentence and actually understand what is going on in that dugout with that ball club. He's not one of those incredibly self-centered guys. Yes, he knows what he has to do on a day-in, day-out basis to go out there, but he realizes it takes a ball club, an entire team to go out there and have some fun. And now they're having some fun with him.
Mm. Yeah, he just had such a grasp of what it took to be successful in Major League Baseball, and also all the other things that go with it, the autographs, meeting with sponsors, things of that nature. It just seemed as if he had been doing this his whole life.
And that's one of those things you got to be real careful with a guy like Carlos Correa, superstar. It's how do you control that? How do you keep it off the field and still be able to perform on the field, keep that reputation intact?
We'll be right back. Ball game, the Astros lead it. They got off to a nice 3-0 lead after one with a couple of homers. They added a third long ball in the fourth inning, and so with the 3 home runs, they have staked themselves to this advantage. Now Jordan Jankowski comes in from the bullpen, facing Tommy Pham. Runners at first and third, and 2 outs in the inning. And there is a pitch for ball 1. Pham is 0 for 3 today. Breaking pitch comes in to even the count at 1-1. Jankowski was a 34th round draft choice in 2012 by the Astros. 26 years old, from McMurray, Pennsylvania. He went to Catawba College in North Carolina. Had an excellent year at Fresno last year with a 3.18 ERA. In the dirt. Pena doing a nice job behind the plate today, blocking some low pitches. He has that quiet body on that pitch in the dirt. He just relaxes and the ball stays right there close to him, Blummer.
It's a good thing, especially when you got base runners on those base paths. Pitchers have a lot of confidence. Being able to go for that strikeout pitch down in the zone, knowing your catcher's going to keep it in front, keep those runners where they're at.
And for a strike for Jankowski, 2-2. Quite a year in the Astros farm system. They had 7 different playoff teams. .553 combined winning percentage of all the minor league clubs. And Pham is down on strikes as Jankowski puts out the uprising here in the 6th inning. The Cardinals settle for a run on 2 hits and leave 2. And the Astros are up 6-3. The Redbirds. Houston coming up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jordan Walden's on the mound for St. Louis, a veteran right-hander. Been a really nice day here in Kissimmee. Fans have gotten a chance to see a lot of players so far. Now, as we go through the middle inning portion of the game, looking forward to seeing probably several more substitutes for AJ Hinch as the evening moves along, or the afternoon moves along. And split squad game coming up Sunday, so he'll have a chance, AJ will, to see one club that he will follow down to Bradenton while another team plays here, and that's always a good opportunity for those players to get the extra at-bats and innings that they're all looking for, and the kind of action you talked about earlier, Plummer, that the youngsters really crave at this stage because there aren't a whole lot of at-bats for the really young players in spring training.
Yeah, very limited, but still opportunities. It's all you're looking for. Even if it just leaves a lasting impression on the manager, some of those guys in that dugout. So later in the year, if an injury happens or they need somebody to fill a hole, you could be the guy getting the call.
Derek Fisher's first up. Highly touted young outfielder, and he takes ball one from Walden. Walden has an interesting delivery. He jumps at the hitter.
Makes it very uncomfortable.
It must. It's hard to time a guy like that, I would think, Plummer.
There's a lot going on. Elbows going one way, knees going another, and then he's not even in contact with the pitching rubber when he releases that ball.
That's somewhat illegal, isn't it?
Well, there's a kid down in Miami.
Yeah.
Does something similar.
Carter Capps, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, he jumps. He's well off the rubber by the time he delivers it.
But apparently if you do it, it's okay. Rule book's thrown out the window. Yeah. It's, it's open to interpretation.
Derek Fisher last year at Quad Cities in Lancaster had a very nice year, a total of 22 homers, 87 runs batted in between those two stops. Competitive balance pick after the first round in 2014. He was the 37th player drafted that year. He comes from a good background, University of Virginia. 22 years old. And Walden gets a strikeout. All right, watch his footwork here.
Watch that drive foot, that back foot jumps off. So he's a good 6 or 7 inches closer to the hitter before he releases that ball.
Yeah. Don't know that you'll find another style like that in Major League Baseball. It's unique.
Yeah, it's pretty safe to say they don't teach that.
There's strike one. John Kemmer, the batter. He won the batting title in the Texas League last year for Corpus Christi. And for a strike to Kemmer. He got into the game yesterday as well. Kemmer is 25 years old, listed at 6'2", 223. Last year he hit .327 to lead the Texas League and had a .988 OPS. He was the Hooks Player of the Year, Corpus Christi.
.988 OPS.
You'd take that, wouldn't you?
Man. I wouldn't be sitting next to you with that OPS.
Struck him out. 2 down. Wow, we have a little bonus for you here.
Yeah.
AJ Reed. There have been many stories about AJ Reed. And now you get to see him perhaps in person for the first time. If you're watching this Astros game, he's 22 years old. MVP of the California League last year. Then he moved up to AA Corpus Christi. And he didn't slow down much there either. .332 at AA after .346 at A-ball. And a .405 on-base percentage for Corpus Christi for Reed. 11 homers there. A total of 34 long balls in the minor leagues for this 22-year-old left-handed batter. Second-round pick in 2014. He's from Terre Haute, Indiana. And the University of Kentucky, where he also pitched. He was the Friday night starting pitcher for the Wildcats.
This is a large human.
Yes, it is. Listed at 6'4", 255. Not sure what his actual dimensions are right now.
So I was just looking him up in the media guide. They have him listed at 275.
Well, I think last spring he was. Blummer, yeah. And then
svelte.
Yeah, he got married. He got on a better diet over the winter. There were some stories about him at the University of Kentucky, of course. Players go to the training table. Their calories are watched very carefully by the athletic program. Then once they get out of college, it's they're on their own, right?
So that's a lot of calories to be watching.
Yes, it is.
Hey, if he keeps swinging it. But one of the things I heard about AJ, just in talking to people around camps and reading some of the stuff, when you get that label of being hitterish, that's a great thing. Just one of those savvy, young, natural type hitters.
Excellent point. Andrew Applin takes a strike, and folks around the Astros are so excited about AJ Reed because of that fact that he is selective. He drew a lot of walks last year. Just really has that knowledge of hitting, and a beautiful stroke.
Yeah, that's a dangerous combination to have both those. That is much like George Springer. Provide that thump in the zone, but as a real good idea, that zone doesn't expand too much to get himself out.
You have your baseball prospectus between us today in the booth, an excellent publication. And according to Baseball Prospectus on AJ Reed, his approach is as good as any prospect in the game.
That's saying something. They're looking at everybody. They scrutinize a lot of numbers, and to have that label says something.
Yuri Perez pinch ran for AJ Reed after Reed drew the walk. Applin with a 2-1 count. And that's in the air, and the left fielder comes in for St. Louis for the third out. We go to the 7th inning, and the Astros are up 6-3.
In Kissimmee, Florida, on this beautiful spring training day between the Cardinals and Astros, with the Astros leading 6-3 here in the top of the 7th. And 2016 Houston Astros season tickets are on sale now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park, save money, and receive great benefits throughout the season. Join us this Saturday, March 5th at Minute Maid Park for an open house and clubhouse tour for potential season ticket holders. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your seats.
Well, the Astros lead at 6-3. They have wholesale changes now, including a new pitcher. Edward Cabrera coming in. Danny Worth is at shortstop. We did not identify him. He's been in the game for a little while. And a new catcher as well in the game. Well, you know, we like to have our interviews and things of that nature. And there have been tons of changes throughout this early spring training game. There's strike one as inning number 7 gets underway. Cabrera, the lefty, one of the non-roster pitchers in camp. Gets a swing and a miss there. New catcher is Alfredo Gonzalez for the Astros. And he had a very good year last year. Ooh, nice off-speed pitch, and he really created an off-balance swing there for a strikeout for McElroy. Pitching looked good yesterday, and again today it's been a solid outing for this group. And showing bunt, there's a strike for Edward Cabrera, 30 years old, from the Dominican Republic. He was in the Ranger organization last year. They claimed him on waivers from Colorado. He pitched in the big leagues for the Rockies in 2012. Hasn't been up since. Neil Kotz is in the Astros camp as another lefty reliever. Whoa, up and in.
Yikes.
Tilson hit the deck on that one. Around the bill of the helmet.
Yeah, not a good feeling at all.
So there are some possibilities should the Astros choose to align their bullpen with more than just Tony Sipp from the left side. That's hanging up into right center field. Kemmer over for it, but he's caught by the center fielder. Two down.
Yuri Perez?
Yep, Yuri Perez at center.
Took some research, but I got there.
You got there. Tony Kemp's at second and Danny Worth at shortstop. We've had a lot of changes, of course, since the game started. All the starters are out now.
There he is.
He's known as a strong-armed outfielder. Made a good throw in yesterday's game, we were reading. Cabrera dealing, and that is strike one. Yeah, you do really need a scorecard for the first week of spring training. 101. Nice turnout today. Osceola County Stadium, well populated with fans, many of them getting here early to see the on-the-field workout beforehand. The Astros did not take batting practice in the stadium. They were working out elsewhere. And you'll see during different days of spring training, concentrated work on certain areas. How does that work in terms of, okay, today we're going to work on pickoff plays, things of that nature? Plummer.
Yeah, basically the first couple of weeks at camp are just trying to nail down those the fundamentals that we talked about earlier in the ball game. But, you know, PFPs, the infielders will take off and work with the pitchers on, you know, bunt coverages. Then you bring in the catchers, do some first and third situations, bring in the outfielders, do some outfield relays on balls in the gap, just make sure everybody's on the same page. But again, that gets to be the monotonous part of spring training because you keep repeating it and doing it, trying to nail down those things. Rundowns are always an interesting day because they bring in some minor league guys who are trying to make an impression and also run, you know, like a 5.5 60-yard dash. So they're just, you know, darting back and forth, making some of the older guys look a little silly. But you know, there's a lot of preparation that goes into these early games, and sometimes managers, talking to AJ today, said that they'll take BP on the backfield just because they can push the batting practice times back and hit at their own convenience and let the visiting team hit on the big league field at their own convenience too.
Makes sense. Patrick Wisdom, the batter.
And remember, how many guys are in camp? 60, 65?
62, I think, yeah.
Okay, so 62 guys, and maybe half of those are hitters. Trying to figure out batting groups for 35 hitters is tough.
Yeah.
So you kind of scatter them all over those backfields here in spring training.
How much do you hit in spring training compared to regular season?
A ton.
Why?
I'm just trying to get that. Well, when I was playing and talking to guys, you're just trying to get that swing in shape. You're trying to get that consistency back. During the off season, you're doing a lot of lifting, so the muscles are starting to develop over again, and then you get in the cage and you're trying to get that timing by taking batting practice. But spring training for me was always that time to go in the cage, get on a tee, and isolate that swing a little bit, break it down, and try and get that good bat path going to the baseball and just repeat it Just repeat that good, consistent swing to the baseball so that when you do get into the season, it just becomes habit.
Do you get somewhat muscle bound from your work in the gym during the winter?
Yeah. No, I always tried. That was one of the things I tried to do. I tried to bulk up as far as a weight, number one, because it's a long season. You need that extra weight to carry you through the season because you will lose weight. And then a little extra strength never hurt anybody either.
Good play by Danny Worth onto the second baseman, Tony Kemp. No runs, no hits, and a man left in the Cardinals' seventh, 6-3, Houston.
Bottom of the seventh at 6-3 Astros over the Cardinals. And Astros spring training baseball is live with the MLB.com at that app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at that, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet. Guys, if there is a star in the crowd, I am bound to find him. Mark Anthony here today, two-time Grammy winner. Of course, from Puerto Rico, Carlos Correa got a chance to meet this guy before the game on the field. Jose Altuve even took a picture with him. I myself had to go find him. No interview today with Mark Anthony, but he's with his dad. It's his dad's 80th birthday, so it's a good chance for them. He said it was his first game ever with his dad, which was very interesting, but they love baseball. He's a big fan of Carlos Correa already in his young career, but I got to meet Mark Anthony, which was the point of the story here, guys.
Good story. Always is.
Where's Costner today?
No Costner. Mark Anthony was very cool. I said some really embarrassing things. You would have enjoyed it. I told him he should open a salsa bar in Houston, so we're working on that.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I shouldn't be allowed to do this.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
It's fun, though. It's just really cool to see them.
I want you to go over there and ask him if we can go karaoke tonight.
Yeah. Do you know any of his songs? You know they're not really in English, most of them.
Let me go get my iPod.
Blummer knows them. He knows them.
Just the ones in Spanish. I've got to see. Blummer sing the ones in Spanish.
Yeah.
I've got it. My salsa isn't as good as my singing, though.
Oh, you know what's cool? Some of these guys have walked up to his song, and they used that for their walkout song, so that was pretty cool.
How about that?
A little bit of a connection. But who isn't a fan of Mark Anthony?
This guy.
Don't lie. I am looking through your iPod after this.
Well, I got to start clearing those things out now.
Your most recently played. I know what's on there.
Yeah, definitely got 5 stars.
Tony Kemp, the batter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tony's 24 years old. The Astros drafted him in the 5th round in 2013. Last year he divided the season between AA Corpus Christi and AAA Fresno. Speedy second baseman who's also going to play some outfield this spring. And there's a strikeout for the newcomer, Sam Tuivalala. Hard-throwing right-hander from San Mateo, California, 23 years old. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2010 by the Redbirds. We were told he could throw close to triple digits. Palmer.
Big kid, big strong arm. Just watching him in warm-ups. The ball got to the plate in a hurry. Good slider, too.
He has a Hawaiian type of name. You played in Hawaii. John Singleton, strike one.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say when I played out there, this kid was not even a thought.
Well, he went to high school in San Mateo. And he pitched and played shortstop. And for a strike to Singleton, 0-2. Orbit and Julia continue their relationship this spring.
Catching up on that offseason.
Yeah. Orbit going to the prone position for this conversation. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Better be careful with that skull. It's a little top heavy.
Yes,
fall
it
in.
is. Got to stay in balance if you're a mascot.
Got to know your limits.
He brought me a present.
What was it?
It's a shirt that says Orbit is Bay. Do you know what Bay is, guys?
No. What is Bay?
It's like babe.
Oh, really?
Are we getting that
So,
lazy in society? We have to take letters out of words.
Okay.
Well, like, I took a selfie with him. I don't know where you guys are if you can see this shirt.
Yeah, we can see it.
I called him Bay on Twitter earlier.
Okay.
Is that you, the other silhouette?
That's me.
So then,
No, not really.
all right. He had the T-shirt made up immediately. Okay. Very nice, Orbit. One of the most efficient mascots around.
No kidding.
There's some talk about Orbit opening a salsa bar in Houston. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wouldn't be prudent. Swung right over the top of it and a strikeout. Tuivalala throwing the ball well. He struck out the first 2.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a comfortable at bat.
No, sir. That is comfortable.
Yes. Orbert's always making friends.
Hug from Orbit. J.D. Davis is the batter. He's up for the first time. He's been playing third base. Now the coming crop of infielders, whenever they should arrive at the major league level, pretty promising, including this 22-year-old. 289 at Lancaster, a 370 on base average. Hit 26 homers. He drove in 101 runs last year.
101?
Yeah. Third-round pick in 2014. He played at Cal State Fullerton.
Some monster numbers.
Morgan Ensberg is one of the coaches in the Astros system who works quite a bit with players like J.D. Davis when they're in California.
That explains the numbers.
Yes, it does. That was an Ensberg-like year. 0-2. Morgan has a new title this year. Did you know that?
I did not.
We're going to have to look that up in the media guide.
Sir Morgan?
Well, no, it's
No?
not. It's not that kind of a title. It's just a different title than we've seen in baseball before. Something to do with the mental approach.
Oh. Psychological warfare coach?
Pretty much. In the hole at shortstop, and there is a hit. Couldn't quite hold the throw at first base, but as the shortstop had to move to his right, that should be a single. So Davis reaches.
Good hustle by J.D. Chopper in the hole, put your nose down, run hard through the base, get rewarded.
Danny Worth is the batter. Up for the first time today. He's been playing shortstop. Taking ball 1. Another one of the multifaceted players brought to Astros camp by Jeff Luhnow. He was a free agent. He's 30 years old. He can play the different infield spots. He was with the Detroit Tigers at the major league level, at least for portions of all the years between 2010 and 2014. Last year he played at AAA Reno. Second round pick by Detroit in 07. Danny played at Pepperdine University. He's from Northridge, California. 2-0 count. So he's one of those guys who, should there be a need at the major league level, has certainly done it before and could perform that. There's a fly ball hit into right center field. Picked up on the backhand side, and it's a single for Danny Wirth. Davis going around to third base. You know, when these signings of guys who played at AAA the year before occur over the winter, it usually isn't to very much attention at all, but it can be really important later on in the year. If somebody happens to go down on the disabled list for a couple of weeks, a veteran style player like a Danny Wirth could come up, fill in, and it could mean something very good for the club.
It does, and you need those guys that have that mentality, that understand their role. You know, Danny Wirth's been around a while, understands the game, understands what he brings to the ball club, but also moves into a clubhouse, possibly, if that is the situation. It doesn't really cause too many waves complaining about playing time or where he's playing or what he's doing. Just one of those guys that you can plug in and know you're going to get some good production out of him, but he's also going to keep that clubhouse nice and easy.
Matt Duffy's the batter. There's strike one to Duffy. 1 ball, 1 strike to Duffy, who was the most valuable player in the Pacific Coast League last season. Hitting .294 for Fresno with 20 homers, driving in 104 runs. And with the Astros, he was a September call-up. He was 3 for 8 and drove in 3 runs. Had some good at-bats. This is in the air, and the first baseman digging up the right field line toward the Cardinal bullpen, trying to turn and make that play, but he couldn't get there. Rodriguez, they were clearing a path for him, but it was in that area where the bench is, and in fact it landed right on top of that bench.
Well, they cleared a sea of red for him.
They might be calling him Moses, the way he parted that Red Sea. Now, Matt Duffy, though, is a guy you might be seeing in Yankee Stadium on opening day. Blummer, he is from the University of Tennessee, has that good college background, 27 years old. He has paid his dues in the minor leagues ever since 2011. And a strikeout ends it for the Astros in the 7th inning. No runs, a couple of hits, 2 men left. They remain in the lead 6-3 over St. Louis. Astros lead St. Louis, and Jake Buchanan is warming up for Houston now with the 8th inning approaching at Osceola County Stadium on a gorgeous day in Central Florida. First of 10 spring training telecasts here on Root Sports for the Astros, and we're glad that you chose to join us today. Back on the air tomorrow, 11:30 for Astros pregame live, 12 o'clock for the game, as the Astros are right back here at home tomorrow. That game will be against the New York Mets. Colin McHugh, the former Met, goes for the Astros tomorrow afternoon. Jake Buchanan was with the Astros briefly last year and the year before. Right-hander goes to work here with a 3-run lead as the 8th inning arrives. As we're looking at Jake and some of the other pitchers who have major league experience, who could be in the big leagues, could be at AAA, we were seeing some depth. That's ball one. That runs in on the hitter. It's a strike. He couldn't stop his swing. Aledmys Diaz is the batter. And he lines one toward the left field corner, and that loops in for a hit. Diaz headed for second, and the throw and the tag by Kemp. He got him. Tremendous play by Kemp to dig it out of the dirt and then dive for the tag.
Good play all the way around.
Derek Fisher out there in left. Gets that ball quickly. Strong throw. A great job by Tony Kemp with the body control. Be able to pick that, get around, and put the tag on Diaz before he gets to second base. How about Joe West moving around?
Yep.
You know it's early in spring.
That was quite a job by Kemp. Fisher got it back in, as you pointed out, as well. But the tag was spectacular. Buchanan pops a breaking ball in for a strike. But, you know, the throw was a little bit of a problem, but he got it there early enough so that Kemp could make a play on it. And then the second baseman really showed some magic on that. He had a quick change of directions on that tag.
Mm-hmm.
One ball, two strikes. Vanderbilt University product.
Place has turned into a baseball factory in recent years.
Hasn't it, though?
Man.
There's a strikeout, and that's out number 2.
Looked like a slider that just backed up, down and in. See a catcher set up away, wanting that slider down and away.
Catcher Carson Kelly comes up. There's strike one from Buchanan. Buchanan is not on the 40-man roster right now. Astros have 39 of the 40 spots occupied at the moment. Jake pitched 5 times for Houston last year, 17 times the year before. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina, went to North Carolina State. One of his teammates was Russell Wilson, Seahawks quarterback. He went to camp with the Texas Rangers a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, it looked like he could still pick it, too.
Fouled away, and the count remains 0-2 on Kelly. There's Kelly doing the catching right now, but Yadier Molina is the mainstay behind the dish for the Redbirds. He had thumb surgery last year, but he's reported to be healthy this spring. He is a key man for St. Louis. A lot of things go through Yadier Molina, not only pitch selection, but also when he's the hitter. A deep drive to center field. And Perez back for the grab. To make it, no runs, a hit, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 6-3 Astros. Coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they've had a nice day at the plate. Gonzalez will be pitching for St. Louis here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Astros had a couple of first-inning homers, another one in the 4th. And there's the lineup card. Bench coach Trey Hillman, who does an outstanding job. Keeps right on top of all those changes.
Yeah, that scorecard looks a lot cleaner than mine.
Juan Gonzalez on the mound, getting his final warm-up tosses in. And boy, Trey is such a good guy for this organization. Managed Kansas City, managed for several years in Japan. He's been a bench coach, and just a guy who's right on top of it.
Actually does a good job with the stereo too. Gets on the bus every once in a while with his own little Bluetooth speaker and cranking out some classic hits.
He was actually doing some singing at that dinner.
What?
Well, on the field, yeah. Not entertaining, but just at the table.
Okay.
At the table with Craig Biggio and some of the folks around there, just having dinner and listening to James Taylor. Now, he wasn't singing when James Taylor was.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that had to be incredible.
You wouldn't do that. Yeah, that was a good night. He's a Bruno Mars fan, we're being told.
Bruno Mars can entertain.
But you knew that, right?
Yeah, I'm taking him over Mark Anthony any day.
I thought maybe you might. Now the Astros with Fisher at the plate come up here in the last of the 8th inning.
I knew you liked Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me while I step out of the booth to go get a selfie with him.
You're taking shots at me. I tried to be nice to you guys like in the 4th inning or so, and we're already mid-season.
Oh, we know you're into star power. But you do get to meet a lot of people in baseball, Julia. You've met probably people you never thought you'd meet.
Never.
Who are not even involved in baseball, but they're
cool.
fans.
It's pretty cool, the different people that come to games throughout the year. You never know who's going to be at the ballpark.
No. Fisher takes that one for a strike, 2-1. But, you know, we did bring the fanny packs for spring training, Julia.
You have yours?
Oh, yeah, always.
Are you wearing it now?
Not right now, no.
But I saw you with your super cool hat on earlier.
Well, thank you. That's a Bun B creation.
It was great.
It's fun.
Awesome.
But I need you to wear the hat and the fanny pack all at once.
All right, you got it. Tomorrow, you got it.
Yes. I'll take pictures and tweet it for everyone.
The Bun B hat and the Mark Anthony fanny pack.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, I'm not so sure some of these stars aren't showing up to just see Julia.
I think that's
hang
what
out
it
with
is.
her.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's obvious, but
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm glad you're comfortable with yourself.
no chance. I walk up to him with a microphone, and they're, you know.
Oh, line shot. Fisher really scalded one, but it's caught there at first base.
It's a high-quality spring training at bat, unless you're wearing the number 86 on your back.
Jonathan Rodriguez speared it. Now John Kemmer batting. You know, guys like John Kemmer, we talked about it earlier. Lumber winning a batting title at AA Corpus Christi. Sometimes get lost in all the luster of the big prospects in this organization, but there is a lot of competition just when it comes sometimes to moving up one level in the minor leagues.
Yeah, on the outside looking in, it looks great to see all these prospects and these, you know, highly rated farm systems, but at the same time, that much talent in one place can create a logjam.
Kemmer grounds out to shortstop, 2 down.
And I don't care where you win a batting title, to be able to sustain that kind of success over that many months, there's something to be said for that. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. Now Perez coming up. He pinch ran for Reed in the 6th inning after AJ drew a walk. You know, Texas League is a very good league. So winning a batting title there really speaks well for Kemmer. There's strike 1. have to ask Julia what she has planned for tomorrow.
Yeah, who's she bringing in?
Bouncer and third to first, not in time. Perez is able to beat the play for an infield hit. And Gonzalez will bat. Alfredo Gonzalez, a pretty interesting guy. He's 23 years old. He's been in the Astros organization since '08 from Venezuela. He was placed onto the 40-man roster last November for the first time. And in fact, he was placed on the roster, and Roberto Pena is not on the roster. So he's moving up the ladder of succession, so to speak, so far after hitting .321 at Quad Cities in 43 at-bats. Then to Lancaster, .340 there in 106 at-bats. On up to AA Corpus, .300 there in 100 at-bats. And he's known as a strong thrower. He threw out 24 of 51 attempted base stealers.
Wow.
Yeah. Forced play at second to end the inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left. We go to the ninth, 6-3 Houston. .6-3 ball game. The Astros lead it here in Kissimmee over the Cardinals, who are coming up in the ninth inning against right-hander Juan Minaya. Minaya began with the Astros as a 17-year-old from the Dominican. Back in '08, he signed. Of course, that young man knows that. And last year, he pitched at Corpus Christi and Fresno. Had one save last year at Corpus Christi. He's in a save situation right here, Blummer.
Right where you want to be.
And such a nice day to watch some baseball here in spring training. A cooling breeze has come through the ballpark today. Julia has the tough duty, though. She's out in the sun.
And hanging around multi-Grammy winners and stuff.
And mascots. And bring her gifts. It's been a tough day.
It's been a tough day. You know what I brought again this year?
No.
The umbrella that I had last year. I don't need it right now. I have shade. But there was an umbrella last year that had the clip on it that I could just clip to my chair. It's back.
That's a veteran move.
$6.
Salty.
The most colorful umbrella on the planet. But it doesn't matter.
You have acquired so much experience.
Can you fit it?
I'm a veteran.
Can you fit it in your fanny pack?
No. I need a fold-up umbrella that clips to my chair. Maybe next year.
Oh. Dean Anna, the batter. No balls and 2 strikes for Minaya. Well, that's that spring training experience.
It is.
Of course, now for Julia, packing for spring training wouldn't be nearly as difficult as for that first road trip of the year when we might have cold weather.
Yeah. Well, she may have to put her shoe trunk on the plane. You know, that's extra storage.
Yeah, but special accommodations are made for Julia.
It is part of the contract.
2 and 2. She'll have her wardrobe people in New York.
Wardrobe people. But seriously, where am I going to find a coat? I haven't had to use a coat in I don't know how long, but New York and Milwaukee first week.
You will need one.
I wonder if they're on sale.
There's a shot into right field. And an opening single for Dean Anna here in the 9th inning. You'll get some on sale this time of year.
You can't find them down here or in Houston.
Well, all right, we'll have to do some shopping for you. I have some thoughts.
I've got a computer. It's connected to this thing called the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can search some stuff for you.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I'll give you my address. Just ship it right to my front door.
Look at this. Now I'm a personal shopper.
Yeah.
What more could a woman need, you know?
You walked right into it.
I did.
That's why we're all here, Blummer.
Thanks, guys.
I should
Teamwork.
know that. Gosh darn it.
Nobody warming up in the Astros pen, so it's Juan Minaya and Peguero the batter. Carlos Peguero, an outfielder. Rips one, and that's foul. That Duffy laid out for it, but that ball was by in a hurry.
Yeah, that ball was smoked.
Foul back, and that's strike 2. We got a copy of the brand new book by Brian McTaggart for the game today. 100 Things Astros fans should know and do before they die. So we'll be looking through that tonight. Maybe get a shot of the cover of it for you tomorrow.
Good book, too.
He worked on it all last year. In the dirt. Gonzalez scrambles, and it's a late throw. Throws it into center field, but no further advance as it's backed up by Perez.
Yeah, if there's anybody that knows anything about Houston, it's going to be Brian McTaggart.
Yeah, he's lived it. We're at that point now. People have grown up with the team and followed the club their whole lives. They're very much into the history, traditions of it, and so that's why I think this will be a very enjoyable book. Forward by Craig Biggio, it says.
It's not too bad either. I think that's part of the beauty. It's if you're an Astros fan, there's going to be stories that you have heard that you know you're going to find a little bit more about, and then you're going to hear some stories that maybe you haven't heard about.
True. Foul back. As you've followed this club this winter now with all the higher expectations, how different does coming to spring training seem to you compared to a year ago?
It's night and day for me. It's such a joy. I mean, there's like Carlos was talking about it when we had a chance to talk to him on air, is that there's a purpose, not that there isn't normally, but there's more of a purpose to be here as a group. There's that excitement, that joy.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't be a reason. I mean, normally you go into seasons and you put expectations on yourself, but at the same time now you've got the expectations as a team.
Right.
Just that's some serious heat just getting past Peguero.
David Washington comes up now. It's one out of play. There's strike one. Well, the fact that Carlos Correa came to the big leagues, proved to be a star. Altuve had another solid year. Keuchel won the Cy Young. McHugh had another big season, 19 wins, and so on and so on and so on. But it's the young players, the Correas, the Tuckers, having these good years and proving to themselves and everybody else that they could play at this level. So coming to spring training for them would have to be totally different, having proven themselves.
And I think the biggest thing when you start getting all those awards and those accolades and all the attention is proving that you're worthy of them year after year.
That's the pressure, isn't it?
Because the last thing anybody wants to be labeled as is a one-hit wonder, a fluke, a flash in the pan.
Sure.
But I think that Keuchel's put himself in a position to be that Cy Young Award winner by hard work, and I think he's also going to maintain being a high-quality pitcher in the major leagues because of that hard work.
Liner into right field. That's in for a single. And the Cardinals stir up trouble. They get the potential tying run to the plate with one out here in the ninth as Washington singles. And Tilson will be coming up. Johnny Bench used to say that as the years advanced for a veteran, the toughest thing was coming to spring training every year with the numbers rolling back to 0.
It seems like there's more teams in spring this year with the hopes of postseason play than there have been in years past.
I think the American League is extremely well balanced.
Yeah.
The National League not so much so. More rebuilding clubs there. But yeah, the AL West is a study. And Point, Tilson hit a fly ball to center his first time up. And the AL West, we talked about Baseball Prospectus earlier. That division is supposed to be very well balanced according to Baseball Prospectus.
Well, I think you see that with a lot of the projections on how many wins the Astros are going to get. I'm not too sure how many people actually pick them to get more than 90 wins. And to win a division at 88, 89 wins, that gives you a good indication of how badly these guys beat up on each other throughout the course of the season.
True. You look at the Cardinals division, and despite what they did, and the Cubs in Milwaukee last year, or Cubs in Pittsburgh last year, now Milwaukee very much in a rebuilding situation. So is Cincinnati. So it could be that the top club in the NL Central racks up 100 wins again this year.
Yep.
Athene's club, the only team to do it in the majors last year, and then they got bounced from the playoffs by the Cubs. I think in the American League, and some publications are picking Boston to win the AL East, but that East should be a pretty good dogfight.
Yeah, I really agree with that one. The AL East is going to be extremely tough.
And in the Central, saw a prediction for the White Sox to win that division the other day.
How about that?
Yeah.
After the Kansas City Royals, they bring back Gordon. They didn't really make too many drastic changes other than maybe getting a couple guys healthy, but their bullpen, their starting rotation with Ian Kennedy being added to that. How do you not pick them again? What does that say about the Chicago White Sox?
Exactly.
My goodness. As if you need to, make the Kansas City Royals upset again to have them go out there and try and prove everybody wrong again.
Sure. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Detroit could be much better than a year ago with health.
Yeah, Zimmerman and Upton going to Detroit. 2 quality pickups.
Cleveland is no pushover.
Yeah, now that you talk about it, that's another division that could just beat themselves into oblivion and have somebody limp across that finish line.
3-2 pitch coming here. Manaea gets a call. Very big one for him. It's out number 2.
Let's see where this pitch is. Home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom maybe having a late tee time, a little twilight tee off. Can't blame him.
Now Rodriguez is batting. You know, on the White Sox, Todd Frazier seems to be making a world of difference in the way people regard that club this year.
Yeah, he really solidifies that third base for them and also adds a pretty key power source in the middle of that lineup. Jose Abreu, Avisail Garcia, if they can keep him healthy for a full season, that could be a game changer too.
It could be.
Get Adam LaRoche back to the numbers that he normally puts up.
That moves him back off the plate, but it's 2-0. Now 3 balls, no strikes. Nobody warming up in the Astros bullpen. Patrick Wisdom's on deck. So Manaya's up against it here. Needs to throw a strike. And he does. Oh, ball 4. Another close one. Loads the bases now. And Patrick Wisdom will get this bases loaded opportunity. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, headed for the mound right now. Wisdom's 0 for 2. AJ staying with the right-hander Manaya throughout this troublesome 9th inning, has not warmed up another pitcher. That's when things differ so much in spring training games. There's not a whole lot of strategy early in the spring.
Yeah, that usually lay off that panic button in these spring training games.
You know there'd be somebody warming up if this game were on the line and meant something.
True.
1-0 now. Manaya really needs to make a pitch. Two balls, no strikes. The Cardinals have been warming up a right-hander in their bullpen in case they can keep this game alive and push it to the bottom of the 9th. Diaz is on deck. And the runner at third opened the inning with a single. Then Washington got a hit. Then a walk to Rodriguez. In the air, and here's the shortstop Worth going out. And the Astros are 2-0 to start the spring. Well, the bases were loaded. A 2-0 count. Wisdom popped up. Manaya winds up getting the save and has to work hard to do it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 men left, and the Astros take another win. They beat the Phillies yesterday 3-2. They win it 6-3 today from the St. Louis Cardinals to open spring training 2016 with a 2-0 record. Did you like what you saw today, Jeff Blum?
I did like what I saw. I really liked what I saw early in the game with a couple of the regulars in that ball game. Marwin Gonzalez with a big home run. Luis Valbuena showing that early pop again. But these are guys that you're going to be counting on throughout the season. So I'm sure it's comforting for AJ Hinch to see those guys putting more good swings on it. And I think it's a credit to how they treated their off seasons, knowing they're coming into a championship season where they have the potential to get a little bit deeper into the playoffs. Wandy Rodriguez, 37-year-old, went out there 2 innings, 4 punch outs. Always love seeing those older where guys put up good numbers.
That'll wrap it up for us from Kissimmee with the final score: the Astros 6, the Cardinals 3. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for more spring training baseball as the Astros welcome in the New York Mets. Coverage begins at 11:30 a.m. right here on Root Sports. For Julia Morales and Jeff Blum, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.